Hello, everybody. As you notice, we didn't have a Midnight's Edge After Dark earlier. That's because we were waiting to watch Halloween Kills. Hopefully, you guys have seen it in the chat. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us. I have a full panel of people here with me today. I'm going to go through them. I have one of my partners in crime here, at least anyway, and that's Jesse Miller of the Crow's Nest. How are you doing, Jesse?
A little late. I'm glad I slept well last night because we had an impromptu midnight showing of Halloween. Now we're going to talk about it.
That is true. We also have Steven, a.k.a. Deleted. How you doing? Whoop. Somebody's got their other.
Remix.
My bad. I'm sorry. No, I had to boomer it at some point so everyone would know it was really me.
It never fails. Somebody has to do it every time. But anyway, hello, Steven. How you doing? Welcome to the channel.
I'm fair to partly cloudy. How are you?
Well, actually, you've been on before with the script reads. That's right.
Yes, I have.
So, yes, welcome back, I should say. And also, for his first time here on Midnight's Edge After Dark, Snowdub, how you doing?
Hail, Tom. Long-time viewer and long-time friend, first-time panelist, but a great way to break me in because this is right up my alley. I love me some horror, so this is good stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. We're both horror fans, I noticed, and was more than happy to be able to get you to join us for this, and glad you're here, man. So we'll get talking some Halloween here.
Definitely.
All right. We also have with us Mike, who also joins us over on Fanzine's channel for our physical media shows once in a while. And I believe this is the first time you've ever been on Midnight's Edge After Dark. But how you doing, sir? Welcome.
I'm doing pretty good. That is correct. I'm pretty new to YouTube, actually.
That's right. But you know your stuff, and I'm glad to have you here. Also joining us, last but definitely not least, she's been here before. You love her, Chef Nation. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good on this late evening.
Hope you don't have to work early. Same thing for Jesse or anybody else on the panel because it could be a little late night.
I'm just pretty much, yeah, probably. Fuck
all right. Well, I apologize for that, but hopefully you
enjoyed this was worth it. No, this was worth it.
Because we're going to find out what everybody thought about it. But first, we're going to go around and say hello a little bit to everybody in the chat. Plus, tell everybody what we thought about the first film. We'll tell everybody what we thought about this film. Thank you, Deranged Lunatic, for the super sticker. I bet you it's a pooper sticker.
It is.
It very well might be.
And it looks like Golgo is either, I think
you went Congo.
You went Congo level?
Yes,
wow.
He's Congo.
We got to give you something for that. Let's give you.
Oh, great Odin's Raven.
That works. So thank you for being here, guys. We got like Lord Trinan watching. Welcome. Techman Blade, Mr. Plague Doctor. Welcome. Arturo Tervino, if I'm saying that right. This is who we are. Welcome. We got Taryn Shula, and we got Chef Nation in the chat and on the show. We got Darcipio. We've got Film Lars. Welcome. Aunt Ran and Steve L. Canal, or is that Steve L. Knievel? Like Evil Knievel. Gotcha. See, I can figure them out sometimes. SP4H is here, of course. And yes, go. It is late because we are going to talk some Halloween. No spoilers initially, like Mike said in the chat. But we're going to get into them eventually. So keep that in mind if you haven't seen the film yet. We also have a super chat from Golgo. He says, horror is not my forte, but is becoming one. Recommend from the anime horror realm. Helsing Ultimate, so damn good. Well, if that's based on Van Helsing, that one might be one I actually might be interested in. I'm not usually a big anime guy, but yeah. So let's go around here and first get acquainted with how everybody felt with the last film. Maybe give us a little bit of history, how you feel about the franchise all around. Let's start with Steven. What did you think of Halloween 2018? And are you a big fan of the franchise or just a casual fan?
I did like the previous movie. A little bit more than I thought that I would. I didn't go head over heels for it like some people did, but I thought it was a worthy sequel. Sure. With me, the original trilogy was always the first two movies in H2O. Because the Halloween timeline has become sort of like a pick your own adventure.
True.
So to me, that was always my trilogy. When you start getting into like the Druid Thorn Cult stuff, I was like, that's a whole different ball of wax that that would be a whole other stream.
Right.
Yeah.
So you didn't hate the last one. All right.
No.
And you're kind of into the main trilogy, I guess I'd call it. Because that's the Laurie Strode trilogy, I think it'd be more well
Very
known
much
as.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the one I tend if I'm only gonna pick a couple to watch on Halloween, it's usually those three if I don't dive into all of them. All right, so you enjoyed that one. Snowdub, I gotta imagine, is a lot like me. You probably dive into all of them when you can, though, right?
Yeah, no, I own all the Halloween movies, including the Rob Zombie ones. And I like them all, for their own reasons. The only one I really don't like is Part 3, the Mask one. That one just didn't land for me. I've always felt the Halloween franchise should have Michael Myers in it. But the last movie, I was excited, knowing John Carpenter was involved, even though he was pretty much just doing the music. But I think behind the scenes, he had a little bit of creative input. So that made me happy. But after watching it, I was kind of on the fence. I liked parts of it, but I was also kind of mad that they were retconning all the other movies. So after seeing this one, I feel a little better about it.
Well, we'll definitely get into more of that in a little bit here. So, yeah, I'm like you. I'm a big fan. I got them all. I don't hate the first Rob Zombie movie, but I just fucking hate that second one.
Oh, I don't even think about those.
That was just a smut film for horror fans. It's more like a Saw movie.
Well, maybe I'll give Justin a few minutes to calm down in the chat, and I'll let him come in. But Mike, tell us your history with the franchise and what you thought of the 2018 film.
Okay, I absolutely love the original Halloween and Halloween 3. I'm one of those people. I like 2 and 4 and the 2018 movie. The rest I can take or leave it. 2018, I liked better the second time I saw it. And I absolutely love the score for 2018 too. It's fantastic. So,
yeah, I agree with you on that. And actually, I should put an asterisk to that. I love Part 3. See, like 3, I kind of count on its own.
I love Part 3.
See, that was the first one I saw. So, like, I had no frame of reference for the series at that point. So, like, to me, it just always was kind of its own thing. Jesse, what about you? Your relationship with the franchise and what you thought of the last one?
How much do you want me to say? I mean, I'm a horror,
oh, we can keep it kind of brief.
guy.
I know you're a horror
Slasher
freak,
guy.
but yeah.
But first off, the way I think it should have went was Part 1, Part 2, Part 4. Cut it off after the firing squad of rednecks. He falls down the hole. They throw dynamite down the hole at the first scene of Part 5. He crawls out of the hole into the river. They should have reshot that scene, had him escape into the woods for the 20 years, then started the 2018 movie. Because then he wouldn't have 3 kills and then comes back. Then Laurie Strode and everybody else in town is obsessed with him for no real good reason. I mean, lots of people have killed 3 people. I mean, that's not really a big deal. Sorry. But yeah, like how far should I go right now?
Oh, we're just giving our initial reaction to or how we felt about 2018 more than anything.
Well, 2018, like it had its ups and its downs. The doctor thing was stupid, but it was necessary, I guess. But it was really overdone, like really overdone.
I agree that I didn't like the Doctor in 2018 either.
I do like the guy that got playing Michael, though. I think he's very good.
It's actually 2 people playing Michael. Yeah,
Is it?
Yeah, it's actually the guy from the original film.
Yeah, but he's like 6 inches shorter than this guy.
And well, he's only in shots when I believe he's got the mask off. And then the rest of the time it's the stunt guy. I can't think of his name, but
Nick Castle's more of a consultant.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that was him in them 2 shots because I can't remember the controversy surrounding the original actor that they brought back, the guy that played him when they took the mask off. He was supposed to be in this.
Oh, Tony Moran.
But they cut him out. Yeah, there was some controversy with him. I don't know what the deal was. I'd have to look it up. I just remember hearing something about it tangentially. But I know, like, in the first movie, he did like 2 or 3 shots, and he's listed in this one, and it sure did look like him in the couple of the shots where he had the mask off.
Yeah, because most of the time it's James June Courtney playing Michael.
Yes, yeah, it is. But
yeah, I do like that. It was not Michael Myers; he was the Shape.
Well, I like that she referred to him as that too. Before we get Chef's opinion on the 2018
in the opening credits too.
Yeah, and before we get to Chef here, we got another person joining us. How you doing, Justin?
I am furious.
I heard, but please behave till we get to
Hey, it's another
will do.
another former Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yes, another
no.
faux Jeremy.
Which Jeremy were
Or
you?
Jenny. It was
I was
Jenny for a
canceled,
while.
Jeremy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
canceled.
Really?
Yeah.
It's great. It's great to finally talk to you as yourself.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
missed you down at Horror Hound a couple last month. So
Yeah,
I've been enjoying it Saturday.
that was a great panel, the Halloween panel.
Oh, I was at that. Yeah. Or no,
Oh, maybe
I was not.
maybe we did run into each other, but didn't know it.
I was at the panel right before the Halloween panel, actually.
The
I was at-
Halloween 4 panel?
No,
Oh.
the one with Sean, the guy from Horror's Hollow Grounds.
Oh, okay. Well,
And
anyways, I'm gonna save my anger for later.
All right.
Whew. Oh, that
It
and
sounds.
it-
I know
it
a couple
literally-
people who might be in line with you, so you're not going to be alone. Trust me.
Yeah, but I just want to make it clear that I just finished it as you.
So did we. So did we. Okay, Polaris Sucks is
All
a
right.
minimum effort puppy now. Thank you so much for that. So you get the minimum effort puppy. That'll make you feel a little better for now, Justin.
Oh no! Look, oh, the little puppy. Oh.
And then DeWall sends in $5. Thank you so much. Says, I wonder why nobody remembers that Michael Myers is an expert stunt driver, other than stabbing people and hiding in plain sight. His only skill. This is true.
That is very true.
Maybe
for
somebody gave him lessons.
a 6-year-old to know how to drive that well. Oh my!
Very
goodness.
true. So Chef, sorry about that. You're how do you feel about the franchise altogether? And what did you think of the last one?
No, I love the franchise. It's one of my favorites. It's right up there with Friday the 13th. It's a close tie, but Halloween is more of an edge just because of Michael Myers' choice of weapon.
He's a connoisseur like you.
Yeah, no pun intended. But 2018, I did really enjoy. I liked the fact that it was, 40 years later, you get to see Laurie all fucked up in her own little world. But the musical score for 2018, I enjoyed. This score in this one was interesting. I'll just
Not
say
as good, yeah.
it wasn't as good. It wasn't as crisp. It was kind of predictable. Like
Felt like leftovers from the last one.
it did. It just kind of felt like sloppy seconds. The score felt like some nasty sloppy seconds.
Which is weird that you mentioned it. Of course, everybody's mentioned it a little bit, but because I listened to the score just before earlier, because they played it live on John Carpenter's
so did
YouTube
I.
channel.
So
And none
did
of
I.
it stood out to me,
Yeah, none of it.
especially compared to the last one. Because that's the thing to me, that if I would say that was the best of the last film, was the score.
Yeah, this one, lot of misses, lot of swing and misses.
Like,
Yeah, but I felt that it suited its purpose.
I mean-
it's understated for a reason because he's a
To a
stalker
point, yeah.
killer.
I mean,
But
it did what it did. It satisfied me in a way where I walked out and said, "Okay, the body count was better. The kills interest me." But we'll get more into that later.
Yeah, clearly. So, Justin, before we get into Halloween kills, we're talking about how we felt about the franchise as a whole and how we felt about the last film first, real quick.
Okay, so as you notice, I've switched my profile picture to Jason Voorhees.
I think Jesse
Michael
will,
sucks.
love that.
No,
That's not
but
nice.
Well,
no.
Jason is
What do you
stronger than
mean it's
Michael.
not? Now you're gonna feel bad for a serial killer? No, come
Nah.
on. No, I loved the franchise. I even was a fan of the 2007 Halloween. The first half, the second half, but I loved all the films. I was a kid when I saw them, and like the angry video game nerd predicted, future generations speak of future generations, that got confused once they stopped numbering the sequels. I thought The Curse of Michael Myers was the first movie, and I hated it. I was like, "What is
that's
this?"
sad if you started with
Oh,
that one.
yeah.
I did start with that. But hey,
You poor
you know
child.
what's great about that though? When I saw the first
All the
film,
other ones are
finally,
That's
I was
true.
like, "Oh my
Right?
gosh, this is amazing!"
Aside from part 5, you're right. Yes.
part
That's
5
why
sucks.
part 5 is the real reboot point.
Much like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street series, most of the Halloween films suck. This is to get real. Most of them suck.
Look,
Or at least half of them
there's
do.
only a couple of
You're not
Fridays
wrong.
that sucked, and that's part 3 and part 9. And
Of the Friday
the
the 13th?
part 5 was okay, even though it wasn't Jason.
I like
Part
part
five's great. I love part 5.
Everything after part 4 was hot garbage, in
Yeah.
my
Come on,
opinion, except for the remake. The remake was
Jason Lives is the best Friday the 13th.
I was going to
movie.
say, yeah, I like that one. Well, of course, I think that
Yeah.
just depends on your taste for the series. I'll give Justin that. Like some
In
people do prefer the
retrospect.
earlier films, some prefer the latter films, but Jesse's more of a Friday connoisseur. Than
Yeah,
I am.
I thought part 3 sucked because the bikers were cliche and boring, and so we
Oh,
were.
I
part,
have a
part
soft
3
spot
sucked.
for
If I
3.
can swap part 3 for part 6, that would be.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, those 4, I guess. Friday 1, you have to have it. Part 2, final chapter, and then Jason Lives, and then the new Friday film. The
You know,
2009 one.
I've seen the original Friday the 13th twice. I don't give a fuck. It's not Jason.
Kevin Bacon, that killed.
So what?
I gotta tip my hat
I've
to.
actually
That's
seen
not
the original
Jason.
Friday the 13th movie more times than you have, Jesse.
He's like, it doesn't count, Jason.
Yeah, but who cares?
I've seen
It's
it probably more
it's a
times
prologue.
than-
I
Prologue.
love part 7 just because it's Kane Hodder's first film, and
I like
he
part
just-
7 too.
he
yeah.
knocks it
He's
out.
the best one, and he didn't come
Yeah,
into
Kane
so
Hodder.
late.
And he fights an X-Man before there was X-Men.
I mean, honestly, let's be real.
Kane Hodder's
Yes,
great.
Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th are probably the two most consistent of the horror franchises. Because you really could make horror like an argument for those two franchises up until the last of the bunch, right? Like part 9, if you count the original series, is where it really is the worst of them.
Yeah, part
then-
9 and Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Are
I actually
completely
like
equal
Wes
in their
Craven.
weirdness and not.
I
belonging in
disagree.
the
I like
series.
Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I'll go more with like.
Oh,
either
dude, it
Nightmare
was
5 or
so
Freddy's Dead.
overly
We just all
pretentious.
agree
and
No,
the
no.
remake was terrible. Just
No,
Yeah,
no,
that's
I agree.
true.
garbage.
I agree. New Nightmare was the predecessor to Scream, and the self-awareness was pretty good.
Yeah.
It wasn't as refined as Scream, but it did.
I don't think it
What
made
did-
the same mistakes Scream did either.
It didn't. Scream didn't make the same mistakes as New
Scream just
Nightmare.
doesn't know when to stop. That's
That's
their
the
problem.
thing. Well,
They
Scream's
don't know when to
problem isn't
stop.
the movie itself. Scream's problem is what it caused. Yeah, that's a
And
whole
it's-
other conversation.
It's gonna be released in January, so you know it's gonna be a shit film.
yeah,
just
but
gotta
the
kill
last
Sydney,
two were
finally.
too. So we'll
It's
see.
like Happy
Just
New
kill Sid.
Year.
Four was good. 3 was garbage.
I
3 and
hated
4 were
3.
both released in January, though. That's the
I
thing.
hated 3. Out of all the Scream, I hated 3. First one awesome. Second one, eh. Third one, suck a dick. Fourth one, not interested.
See, I feel the same way, except about 3 and 4. I don't remember 3. I remember
And
the first
why
two.
can't?
Well,
This
three is forgettable
The
because
fourth one
it
was the
takes
bad
place a
one.
movie within a movie. It's a movie within a
Oh,
movie.
that one. Yeah, that was shit.
Because you find out she has a brother, and you're like, oh.
I kind of like that one, but I'm not going to get into that here because we're supposed to be talking about Halloween kills like 6.
All
Just
right.
reminded us. And hello, 6. How you doing? So basically, here's my turn, real quick. I of course love the series. More partial to the 1, 2, and H2O trilogy. If I had to pick, plus like I said, I pulled 3 on its own, but I don't mind 4. 5 is garbage. 6 is meh to garbage. Resurrection is kind of what the fuck. Like, and then the Rob Zombie movies I already got into. So the last movie I didn't really like all that much. I was very disappointed. And the
The
big
one that
point-
just came out.
no 2018.
Oh, okay.
My big point of contention was I wanted them to convince me why the second movie and beyond shouldn't exist, because I get it. You want to make her not the sister, but yet Jamie Lee Curtis is still the fucking focal point. So I'm trying to wrap my head around that a little bit. And then you have that fucking stupid doctor. And that really fucking bothered me. Like, those were the two biggest problems I had with that movie. Besides, I fucking hated Laurie Strode's granddaughter. Like, I fucking hated her as a character.
In 2018?
Yeah. I did not like her character at all.
Really, see, because I didn't like.
I thought
Judy
she was
Greer's
a bitch to that fat kid.
I didn't care for her. I didn't really care for her. Now her bitch ass boyfriend, on the other hand, now
Who was literally wearing a dress
through this whole fucking movie.
The whole fucking
and even
movie.
in the whole movie, you know what? I give him props. He didn't even put on a pair of pants.
I'm still
like, nobody
thinking,
gave
like,
him a pair of
motherfucker is
pants.
wearing, like, he could have just took the fucker off. Like, he's got like sweatpants on or something underneath, it looks like. But anyway, we'll get to that when we get to part 2.
Well,
Part three,
yeah.
I should
Let's
say,
just
whatever
put
you
it
wanna
this
call
way.
it.
Look, I guess Michael wasn't the only one wearing a mask.
I will say I hated the boyfriend a lot less in this movie.
Okay, well, that's going to get us to this one, because before we actually get into spoilers, I do want to get initial reactions, because this is how I'm going to start this off. I didn't hate this movie. This movie actually made me like the last movie more. I do have some issues with it, and we'll get into that. But overall, I didn't hate it. I liked it. Is it a great fucking movie? No. It's like 7 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10. But originally, like, my reaction to the last Halloween was like 5 out of 10. So that raised that one up to like a 6 out of 10.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So, Steven, your first initial reaction to this film.
This is the rise of Skywalker of Halloween films.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Man. One person in and we're already invoking Star Wars.
You're going to have to explain that one to me, I guess.
Michael
a little bit later, maybe.
What's
I
the
wanna
best
hear
part
this.
of this movie, hands down?
Okay, when we get into spoilers, you'll have to explain it to
All
me, I
right.
guess. But
Yeah.
All right.
He
Mute
said-
for respect.
I never think about Star Wars.
This is true. Jesse fucking just like, fuck Star Wars.
That died a long time ago.
So you didn't like it. That's pretty simple there. It's no.
No, I didn't.
Wow,
What a
that was
fucking line that
hard to
was.
follow up that initial reaction. I'm like you, Tom. Pretty much the same feeling. Like it helped the first one a little bit. There were some pretty good kills in this. There was that, I felt like the story connected. When I went into this movie, I remembered the whole time that this is a bridge movie. This is the one that comes between the two bookends. So as far as a build-up, I like the fact that Laurie Strode, after she got her injection, she wasn't Superwoman, and they kind of just focused on the rest of the clan and figuring things out. So I think it was a good, in between. We'll see how the last one kind of wraps it up and then I'll compare all three of them together. But I didn't mind this one. It wasn't that bad.
Like Metal Mulkin says here, half the Halloween films are Rise of Skywalker.
Well, let's see. Halloween 2 from what was it? 20?
Yeah,
Those don't count.
Yeah,
Those don't
that
count.
one sucked dick. The Curse
Both
of
the
Michael
Rob
Myers
Zombie ones were
sucked.
terrible.
Halloween Resurrection. Oh my god.
Yeah, like you said,
so
I
he's
can't
not
argue
wrong.
with you on
What
the
was the
half
one with
thing.
Busta Rhymes? That was the one.
That was the
just-
resurrection one. Yeah.
Oh god,
That was just
so
seriously,
bad.
that was a B movie.
that was rough.
Well, the fact of how they made Laurie go out in the beginning of that, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And then the wholly believable way that they brought Michael back, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Seriously.
do a swan dive off the fucking hospital. Bye.
That's basically what I was
Bye,
like.
Z's, yeah.
Bye.
Like bye. It's like, really? That's it? Fucking bitch.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
shit.
Oh
Mike,
man, you're making me even more furious.
Mike, your initial reactions, brother.
Now, full disclosure, I've seen it twice now.
Yeah, you did.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I actually, until the end of the month, I co-own a single screen movie theater, and I saw it Tuesday night. We watched it. The movie unlocked for us to watch, so we went and watched it Tuesday night, and then I saw it again earlier this evening with an audience. I think it's a boring movie. I think it's really boring. Well, not really boring. It's just boring. There's not a whole lot that happens. This movie is more of an epilogue to the 2018 film than its own film. There's no real story here. It just wraps up the loose ends from the 2018 film, and then it ends. So it's not its own movie.
That is true.
And
It is.
I don't know about
it
the
is,
boring part, but
way.
it's not its own movie part. I'll agree about.
Well, it's definitely more of the night he came home. you know.
Yeah,
More
the
like
closest
more
storyline in here is just saying that he wasn't looking out for anything. He was looking inside, and he's just completely evil, and that was most of the point of the movie. Like,
Well, we'll kind of get to that because I got some reactions to that, but I want to let Mike finish. Sorry about that, Mike.
Oh, that's okay. So, I liked it a little bit better the second time I saw it this evening, just because it wasn't the film I expected the first time I watched it the other day.
Gotcha.
But it's still, I still don't like it. I'd give the 2018 film a 7 out of 10. This one is a 5 out of 10. It's just kind of there. It's not terrible, but it's not very good either.
So you're more middle of the road. So we got some pretty mixed reactions so far. That's not bad for a panel. I'm feeling pretty good. This is one of the more diverse panels we've had as far as the reaction to the film. But I got to ask you real quick, Mike, before we go to Jesse, how did the audience react to the movie, though? That's what I'm curious about.
Most of them seem to like it. We show a lot.
You said you had like what, about 30 people? How big?
We had about it's 300.
Oh, so that's not great, but how has it been during these times?
That's typically that's typical for us on an opening weekend for a movie. It's about 30. So, because we've got a really big Cineplex not too far away from us. So, and we're a small single screen theater. So,
gotcha.
I talked to a few of our regulars that come out for all that, because we do a lot of horror films. We show a lot of revival screenings, and a lot of our regulars really enjoyed it. My partner is a huge Halloween fan. He thought it was okay. All
right. So. Jesse, my man.
Okay, first of all, you guys are
just initial reactions, no spoilers. Just initial reactions.
This is what you call a slasher movie. The whole point of a slasher movie is to have as much body count as possible in the most interesting ways possible. That creates the most fear in the characters, right? Now, it was in the trailer, so I'm going to talk about the old couple. Okay? He brutalized those people, and he made the woman watch.
Can I pause you for 1 second? I got somebody in the back who wants to come in and say hi to us quick. I don't think he's seen the movie. I'm pretty sure he hasn't. But y'all suck in your guts. It's the boss man. Hey, Andre, how you doing?
Hey, Andre.
Good.
Hey, everyone. Yeah, well, of course. Yeah, it's like almost 9 a.m. in the morning here. So I've just delivered the kids to school and to kindergarten. And then, of course, I'm here. I just have to come and say hi. Tom is, of course, entirely correct, and that I haven't had the chance to see the movie yet, considering that it's, not released internationally.
That's correct.
So, yeah.
Well, at least of legal means, anyway.
Yeah, no, like you can always Surfshark it, but...
Indeed.
But everyone, I just want to say hi Jesse, hi Jeff, hi Mike, hi Team Jason, hi deleted. Oh yeah, deleted teams
Justin,
of course,
yeah.
and and hi Snowdub.
Justin Proper, whatever he's called anymore.
Hey, Audrey.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, you've never met Snowdub before either, so yes.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Some of these people you have, some of these you haven't, but yes.
Yeah.
Tis my honor.
Pleasure to make yours.
Excellent. Well, I'm
So,
sorry
yeah, we got
for
actually
having, to come in and destroy the flow, but yeah, Tom, you were saying.
Well, Jesse was just in the middle of his initial reactions. We actually have a pretty diverse opinion on the movie so far, and we got a few more people to go yet. So
yeah,
so
what I heard
from
from what Jesse was saying actually sounded really promising. He was like completely gutting that guy in front of his woman or something.
Yeah, so you were talking about the old couple.
Yeah. Like I'll let that part go right now. Yeah, after he took care of the first guy and got him down, he went and did a number on the wife. Then he propped her up so she'd have to watch as he threw the husband over a butcher block and put every knife in the fucking kitchen in him.
I will say that,
methodically, no less.
I will say
time you take the knife off, you look at it, boom. You take
that was awesome.
You missed the stuff he'd observe after.
And this is why I always say, do not keep hanging knives in your fucking kitchen. This is why.
Yep.
This is why. Hints in a horror movie. This is why.
That was true character development for Michael. You really got to see a side of him you don't usually get to see.
No,
I'll give him this.
Grabbing people,
kind of
never
like him in a shopping aisle, just going through his knives, figuring out which one is best for the night. Yeah.
I did like the first 20 minutes of this a lot more than the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
they had a lot of things in here that were classic horror things. Like there's a full latex head, which I was not expecting. Everything's CGI now.
I think
Most
once
of
you
the
get to the
effects are
hospital, it
prop.
kind of loses it.
No,
Sorry, go
no,
ahead, Mike.
these are
They
practical.
also did a callback to the killing of the the boyfriend who was dressed as Michael Myers in the previous movie, where the
Yeah.
cop ran the car into him. There was a callback to that kind of, but
kind of.
Oh, there's a ton of
Kind of.
calls.
yeah. There's a lot of things in here I enjoyed, but I don't want to go into it without spoilers.
Well,
or
just kind of
happening.
your initial reaction. Did you like it though? It seems like you.
Yeah,
did.
overall, yes, I did like it. I mean, it had some things I didn't like that broke my suspended disbelief, but beyond that, I mean, yeah, for a slasher movie, yeah, very good. Plus, it's not trying too goddamn hard, like the whole Cult of Thorn things. That none of that bullshit.
All right. Well, Chef, your initial reaction, spoiler free, of course, and then we'll get into some spoilers after
For
we get
me-
it from Justin, of course. But yeah,
For me, horror movies is always about blood and body count. It's always about that for me. The more body count, the better, the more satisfied I am. This movie, I was satisfied with the body count. I could have been satisfied with maybe like 3 or maybe 4 more bodies, but whatever. We get one more movie, so I'm hoping the body counts more. The story, the plot for me was okay. Certain scenes drug out a little longer for me. There were some scenes that I wish they could have cut out. Some of them they could have made a little bit shorter. But the movie, this one, 2018 kept, let me just put it this way. 2018 kept my attention. This one really had to work for my attention. Because if I wasn't focused on Michael and what he was doing, I really kind of didn't give a shit what Lori was doing, what her granddaughter was doing, what her daughter was doing, and what the fuck the town was doing. Because I was more focused on, okay, where's Michael going and who's he going to kill next and how brutal is it going to be? Other than that, it was. I mean, if I had to go out of a 10, 2018 for me was a 7. This one was a solid 4, 4.5.
oh wow. So you didn't really like it all that much at all, then?
No, I have notes.
Okie dokie. Well, we'll get into those. So, Justin, I don't think anybody has to ask whether or not you liked it. You said
Well,
you hated it, so.
here's the thing. I adored this movie, but the last 10 minutes really made me angry. It was so horrible. It was a terrible ending. It's like this could have easily been a 9 for me, especially with the blood, especially with the kills that, I was rooting for Michael Myers at a certain point. I'm just like, yeah. And there were some, points where it's like, okay, you got distracted on this little side plot of something else that we'll talk about later, perhaps.
Right.
But the ending is what really infuriated me. As Nerd Report said, the third act sucked. I think the last 10 minutes ruined the movie for me. It literally ruined it, because how stupid can you be? This is, this is where I can tell Danny McBride wrote this, because he fucking sucks. He wrote the peanut butter on my penis thing in the last movie. I'm like, I know that's you, Danny.
I didn't mind that so much.
I mind it. It felt so out of place.
You
And
didn't feel
so
like the
did
ending of this movie was more set up like a deceptive cadence to go on to the next piece, kind of like a musical movement?
Well, yeah. You could tell it was towards the end. There were no words.
Well,
I mean,
of
there
course
was just
he's
you just
gonna
had
come
Laurie's
back.
voiceover, and then the event happened. I mean, which for me that was satisfying, because I could take it or leave that bitch. Anyways.
well, I don't know if it was supposed to be like a psychological thing or not, but that's going to get into spoilers. I don't want to.
We're going to get into spoilers real shortly here, yeah.
Yeah, but
Gonna
but
have to.
the ending is what really, really pissed me off. Just like, how stupid can you be? How stupid can you be? Especially if we're considering that this, there's no flashbacks. There's no like, what if this happened kind of crap. And
Yeah,
this,
but he killed 3 people. Then they found some bodies the previous night, and they're like, "Oh, Michael Myers is back." They think he's just a man.
I
They don't
will
realize
say,
he's like some kind of weird demon feller.
Well, this is all the same night still. ain't it?
I did like the
Yeah.
intro with all the pumpkins. I did enjoy that. That was a nice twist.
I like that. It reminded me of when you have 2 mirrors to yourself when you're a child, and you see a bunch of yous like in a row.
Like like when you go into a fun house.
Yeah, something
where
like
the
that.
wall
But-
mirrors.
But
I will
yeah,
say
yeah,
though-
I
go ahead,
love the
finish up,
film
Justin.
overall, but I thought the ending just really killed
That's
it for me.
interesting. That's interesting. Okay, because we're gonna get into that because the ending goes into what I'm about to say. Because Steven, earlier before you got in here, Andre, he made the bold statement that this is the last Jedi of Halloween movies.
No, Rise of Skywalker.
What?
Yeah,
Right.
that's not
Okay.
accurate at all.
I'm about to turn around.
There's so many Halloween movies that are worse.
Okay,
than
well,
this.
yeah,
Oh,
well, I'll say this.
I would say the last Jedi of Halloween films was probably Resurrection.
Okay, well, that aside, I'm going to say this. He can feel that way, and he's fully, I'm not going to argue with him on that point, but I will say I am going to make an opposite argument that this is the Empire Strikes Back of this series.
Whoa,
Wow.
whoa,
Oh
hold
my
on.
God, we have
All right.
It's a
That's a
transitional
bold
movie.
statement.
Okay,
So you're trying to say this is like
It's an arc of 3 films.
So you're trying to say
These
this
films
is
where you just get the action of
these
the
3
events.
films.
So wait, you're trying to say
bold
this
statement,
is like the Wrath of Khan?
No,
No,
the
because
entire
those movies
series.
aren't sequential, really. They have nothing to do with
I'm
each
gonna
other.
make I gotta make a lot of points to get to where I'm at because I have like you, Chef, some notes.
Oh yeah.
I hear
There's a
this is
lot.
going to be a very interesting discussion.
I
It
gotta
is
go
gonna
get my
be.
other cigarettes.
Yeah.
Get some
Before we
popcorn.
go forward, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to dox him, but my brother is in the chat,
Well, hello, your brother.
and he's giving me shit right now. So
Bro.
let me
This is the most
make my
diverse
points
panel we've
later
ever
on.
had as far as the opinion of a film before, Andre. I guarantee, you have the gambit here.
I think it's going to be pretty divisive.
Yeah, you mean I have the gambit, or what? Who has the
Well,
gambit?
we have the gambit right here in front of
The
me.
X-Men have the gambit.
Of
Yeah.
different opinions on a film, because usually, when we do one of these panels, it's generally pretty lopsided.
Generally, but yeah, this is what I think is so interesting. Here we have 2 people, one who thinks it's the Empire Strikes Back, the other who thinks it's the Last Jedi, and everyone else has some kind of issue with it. To me, this sounds like a movie that is going to be extremely divisive, that you're either going to love or you're going to hate, and I think very few people are going to find it just like meandering in the middle. That's just like my observations listening to this. As for me, I don't know why I'm here, because I haven't seen the movie yet. Honestly, I've seen 3 Halloween movies in my life, so I have some catching up to do before I even can like give some take on this.
Thank you, Darius. Yes, the gambit, not gambit.
Hey, Andre, Andre,
just
may I
waiting
ask
on that.
which
Thank you,
one-
Darius. I missed that too.
Yeah, and Team Jason,
That's what
and
happens when
also
you grab too much to smoke and you're up too
I have
late.
to say, I do like the name Team Jason. I'm Team Jason too.
All right, I
Team
think we
Freddy.
could be friends.
Yeah, which 3 Halloween movies I've seen? Well, there's obviously the original masterpiece by Carpenter himself. I've obviously seen that. The other 2 that I've seen are probably going to surprise and shock and horror you all. It's the 2 Rob Zombie movies,
Oh,
Good
wow.
Lord.
and I
Yeah,
haven't
you
seen
can throw
a
those away.
single one of the other ones. I haven't seen the original Part 2. I haven't seen Season of the Witch, although that is on my watch list. I kind of figured that, okay, I know that the 2018 movie is Part 2 Redux, so I'm just gonna completely ignore everything else and go with that. That'd be like my Halloween
Well,
quadrilogy, the original plus these 3 movies.
here's the beauty of the Halloween franchise. It has been so convoluted. The storyline that's the best part, is you can choose your own adventure.
Exactly, that's what I mean. I'm
And-
choosing the adventure of original 2018 kills and whatever comes next. That's my adventure.
Halloween ends.
And I'll tell you right now, this movie made me like the last one better. Now, will it replace in my heart Halloween 2, and H2O? I don't know about that. But I will say that this movie made me like the last movie better. So whatever it meant was trying to do in that respect, it managed to do. So we are kind of all mixed here. I see some people are like, did you like it or not? I liked it. Steven hated it. Snowdub liked it. Mike is in the middle. Jesse enjoyed it. Chef didn't. And Justin liked the beginning, hated the ending. So that's where we're at here. That's a quick run.
Fucking love the ending. That's
And I'm
I
gonna
love
make
the ending just to piss off Justin.
Well, no, but the execution was so terrible.
No, the execution was brutal. It was beautiful. It was
I bet
stunning
Chef
and
Nation
brave.
is Team Freddy.
Wait,
I'm
can
Team
we go into
Freddy.
spoilers now? 'Cause
Just
this
a
needs
minute. I
be
got to say
addressed.
this because I know Andre will probably leave soon anyway. I think he'll think this is interesting. I'm going to say this up front. The original Halloween is a masterpiece. You're right, Andre. I'm glad you brought that up. That is a film. That is cinema.
That is cinema.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
It is.
Martin Scorsese is correct. We have reached a point where movies are the new comic books, unless they're a film. And I mean that with quotations around it, as in cinema. Like, we have reached this point where there's two different kinds of entertainment. You know what this is? This movie is basically a streaming series split up into 3 films. And that's why I enjoyed it. Yes, it does not stand alone on its own. I'll give that to Mike, and I'll give that to a few other people who pointed that out on the panel.
It's a bridge film.
But
yes.
what it does do, because I noticed, because I watched the first one right before this, as in 2018 one, and there's so much shit I did not catch that first 2 times I watched it than I did this time that connects everything. These guys had this all planned out. Guess what? Love it or hate it, at least they planned the fucking trilogy.
I'll give them that. I'll give them that. Yeah.
All right.
And that's why the middle
you're-
one seems
you are-
weird. It's not its own
Right.
thing. Like all
You
these
are
other
so
fucking
right
movies
on
we
that
have to sit
because
through.
if Halloween Ends, which is the next movie, ends with a fucking banger, man, I will take everything I say back about this movie.
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me. Because keep in mind, here they actually planned out the trilogy from beginning to the end, and the middle part is always going to be the one that's going to stand out one way or the other. You have the same thing with Lord of the Rings and everything else that's kind of been like planned out for the trilogy. You have the setting up, which is exciting in the first. You have all the conclusion in the last, and you have all the meandering in the middle. So yeah, I think that this is a movie that, depending on what they do in the third one, is retroactively going to determine how this one will be remembered, which I have to say I think is exciting. With that, though, I'm not going to participate anymore, not until I've seen the movie myself. So I have to see both 2018 and Kills. Maybe I should rewatch the original too, just to
You should.
get fully caught up here. Because,
Is
I mean,
this,
they all belong together.
Yes, because
So,
this
yeah.
movie actually goes back to that night quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Because, again, this is part 3.
Like, there's actually flashbacks to the night.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
they
not
do
surprised.
a fairly good job at some recreations too. Some of that's in the trailer, so that's not too much of a spoiler. But we are about to get into spoilers
Yeah.
right after Andre leaves us, and
Yeah.
Duro on gets his maximum effort puppy. Thank you, Andre, for popping in and saying hello. Though,
No,
Appreciate it.
absolutely. And thank you all for being here and sharing your thoughts. It's been really interesting to listen to so far. So I look forward to doing this again once I'm able to watch everything myself.
Yeah, it sucks you guys got to wait over there. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
take care,
it comes in theaters today here, actually. So
Oh, it does. Okay. All right.
yeah,
well,
it's
that's
just here. There's no streaming alternative.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Unless, of course, you Surfshark it. But,
Yeah. Well, the quality.
Yeah.
The quality.
Get that
we brought
plug in.
up right
Sponsorship
away.
incoming.
We brought that up right
Indeed.
away. The quality is fucking trash on.
It was a
fucking
pleasure
Peacock.
meeting you, Andre.
yeah, likewise.
I can't believe you've
likewise.
never met Justin before. I thought you guys had met on my birthday or something like that. Maybe not.
Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, well,
but-
maybe, but it's been so long. But anyway, pleasure to make your acquaintance, and everyone else. Pleasure to see you all again. And yeah, let's do this all soon.
All right. Take care, Andre. Talk to
Yeah,
you.
take
Andre.
care. Bye.
I'll try to make it to the morning show.
Yeah, you just be up until then, and then I'll have another video for you. So yeah,
Oh, I'm
don't
sure
get
you
too
will.
excited.
Oh, lovely. All right. Thank you. And Duro Ann, thank you for becoming a maximum effort puppy. We appreciate that. You get yourself
Oh,
a maximum effort.
Get up
puppy.
there. Go.
oh, he's He's so
Who's oh?
You
It's
can do
proper
it.
Justin. I know Nina. I'm so used to calling him Justin Proper or proper Justin or proper Jenny. It doesn't matter. He's Justin.
Do you want do people want Jenny back? Is that what
I
you
don't know.
want?
Jenny's
All
back.
right, there you go. There's
Yeah.
she is.
Wow, you still have that?
There she
Yeah.
is.
Did
Hey,
you know to delete that when you fucked up last time? You got to
All
keep it for
right.
6 months.
gonna probably
Never
lose some
never
people here.
forget.
But time is up. We're gonna do some spoilers now, kids. Now we're gonna get into the spoilerific talk.
So if you don't want it spoiled, get the fuck out. No, just kidding.
Boy, how should we do this?
Drop
here?
a like, but drop a like on your way out, please.
How should we do this? The ending fucking sucked. It sucked.
No,
You
the ending was
had
great.
to, you
No,
had to
go that
kill
way,
him. He was
Justin.
gonna kill him.
Justin,
Like,
it was
You knew it
This
was
is-
gonna
hey,
happen.
they had him
wait.
surrounded, and they fucked it up.
That's
They
the
It
end.
was
fucked
really
it up
sloppy.
royally. And Michael only has 8 fucking fingers, and you still. Ugh!
Oh, calm
Why?
down. Calm down.
They shot him
Why?
6 times.
Why would you
beat
do
him
that?
down, and they stabbed him in the back. Wasn't that
Simmer
enough
down
after he was already stabbed 8
No,
times?
you should have.
Just
You
simmer
had the
down.
whole thing at the beginning where
He is
they're
the
like,
shape.
okay, we're gonna
This
shoot
is-
him in
this
the
is
fucking
why
head,
when-
and they're like, no, don't do it. And then
Oh my God.
they
Can I
make
explain
that
to you
same
why this
mistake
movie had that
again.
ending?
Okay, Justin, calm down.
All right, this is why
Calm
that
down.
movie had that ending, okay? Because it's about Lori, right? They can't kill her to the last movie, which is going to happen in the last movie. Spoiler for the future.
She already
okay?
said what's gonna happen, and they're both gonna cut each other's fucking heads off. You watch.
Yeah. She's
Now-
like, I'm gonna take his, I'll take his.
They
Boom,
can't,
boom.
they can't kill the granddaughter because the granddaughter is your actual survivor girl, okay? The middle one, the mother/daughter, she was dispensable. It had to be her at the end. No one even liked her. It doesn't matter. It fit the role, and that's what had to happen. Plus, it showed the family thing where she was actually trying to protect her daughter and doing so, and trying to save her mother at the same time. Hence, she sacrificed herself. Now, the kill itself was perfect. It was realistic.
Right,
Because
thank
what
you.
was it? What was it? It was a knife versus defensive wounds. What else is she going to do?
Not only
Okay,
that, he
okay,
did it right where he killed his sister.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah,
everybody
I like
who
that.
because they
That's
already
what was
set it up
poetic.
that everybody who stands in that spot gets killed.
Yeah, well, I
And
like
it was
that.
poetic because she
And that's
pretty
where
much when
those
she
two are
took
gonna
off
cut
his,
each other's fucking
plus
heads
when she
off,
took
too.
off his fucking mask and she like pretty much said, "Can you feel?" It's like, dude, she was pretty much asking to get fucking gutted.
But
She's
here's
pretty
the
much
thing,
asking-
singled
it's
herself out.
not-
You do not single yourself out.
She's
with
like, I'm a innocent woman, blah blah blah. Like your sister. Okay, one, you don't say your sister to Michael Myers in a fucked up manner. You know you're gonna get
She
gutted.
sacrificed
she al-
herself to
so she
save her
already-
daughter anyway.
Yeah,
is what
so
it was.
you already knew she already signed her death warrant. You knew
Well,
she was gonna die.
Well, of all the three Strode chicks, I would have expected her to die, and I'm glad that it happened the way it did, and I'm not unsatisfied with the ending. That
You're
last
more upset that they just beat the hell out of Michael than let him kill them. That's what you're.
You're just sad that he
Yeah.
got his ass beat for a moment, and then he tried to play like he was hurt and got his revenge. That part
Well,
was awesome when he pulled the knife out of the
that
fucking
pissed
back
me
to
off
slice the dude,
because
slice the
I'm-
fucking cop and went to work.
When's the
I'm
last
like,
time
no,
you
that
actually
would
fought
never
a group?
happen.
That's
That
how
would
you have to do it.
never happened. I thought there was going to be a SWAT team shooting him like at the end of Jason Goes to Hell, or at the beginning.
Beginning.
Excuse me, and just this whole SWAT team firing at his ass.
They ain't
and
got
cutting
time
off
to
his
get
head.
the SWAT team together, brother.
They would have all shot him. Like,
now I'm going to
there,
go with Chef
right
with
there.
this one on Justin because here's the thing: is this movie is almost happening in like these two movies are almost happening in like real time, not real time, but pretty close. Like you've got because that's why Homeboy can't even change out of that fucking dress. Like 'cause I'm
Yeah.
sitting here through the whole movie, I'm like, why didn't you just take the son of a bitch off?
Like, he didn't have time.
Yeah, because like all this shit is happening, like click, 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 and they thought Michael was dead. Half the town didn't even know what the hell was going on, and they're in a little sleepy town. So I can understand them not just having a SWAT team at the ready.
Well,
You
the
know.
sheriff
Well,
had
no,
kind of given
that's
up.
not my point. That's not my point. They have multiple guns, pointed towards
True,
him.
I'm not gonna
blown
say
his
that-
head off.
Oh,
They get
wait,
it
wait,
down.
wait, wait.
But they
First
couldn't
off, the
fire a
gunplay in
fucking
this
gun.
movie was
They
stupid as fuck.
couldn't fire a gun to play like to save a fucking life. So you really
The
think they're
cops
gonna hit?
can't shoot. in
You
this
really
movie.
thought they were
can
gonna
shoot.
hit Michael
These are
Myers
worse
with a
than
fucking gun?
stormtroopers. That's true.
Then you get this skinny little black girl, right? And she's got the biggest fucking gun of anybody.
She's all
Can't
give me that.
handle it. Will save her fucking life. Why?
No
would
way she
just
could handle a
spoil
Desert
her
Eagle.
shots?
Oh, that scene in the car
Yeah,
with
that was
her with the
realistic.
gun when she was like, "Have you held a gun?" He's like, "No." She's like, "I've held a gun. Give me that shit." She's like, "I'm like, bitch, Have you ever really held that gun before? Because the way you're holding it, no.
All right, we got to grab
The
this
Desert
super
Eagle
chat
too,
here.
wasn't it? Wasn't it
Right.
a Desert Eagle?
Yeah, it was a
big
Desert
thing.
Eagle.
They
That
were
was a
Yeah, there's
supposed
no
to be
way
a
she's
couple where
handling that
one was a
gun.
nurse and one was a doctor. There were a couple of yuppies that bought the most expensive gun they had. They never took it to the fucking range.
Probably
She
not.
took multiple shots at a guy in a seated position. Sitting duck, quite literally. Missed every shot.
Well, then all he had
You
to do was
suck.
knock her, and she killed herself.
The
So
cop at the beginning
That
of
was
the
actually-
movie. The cop
I
is
gotta
supposed
get-
to be
That's
trained,
kinda
right?
Hey, you know what?
Missed
I
every
gotta
shot.
give it to.
we got to talk one at a time here, guys.
Sorry.
I gotta give it to fucking Michael on that. When he hit the door, and if the gun went back in her fucking face, and she blew her fucking head off,
That
I
was
like,
so
that was
good. It
fucking
was
awesome.
so good. It's moments
guys
like
thought
that makes
that
me
was the
so
part that annoyed
angry
me.
of how it ended up.
Yeah, but those are good, funny moments. In
That was
kind of movie.
funny to
great.
me.
I laughed so
I
hard.
laughed
All
my
right, all right.
Yeah,
ass
but you know
off.
how
So-
perfectly a series of events has to play out for that to actually happen?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
He should have just taken the gun and killed her.
That's
let's
not
get-
his MO.
No, that's not what he does. He stabs bitches with the guns.
let's kind of try and get
He doesn't
everybody's
shit
kind of
with
feeling.
himself.
Since we started with the ending, I'm going to grab the super chat, and then we'll each take a turn kind of saying our piece on the ending. Killer Stove sent in $20 and says, I'm really hoping the ending isn't setting up what I think it is. It feels like they're mining some ideas from the original Dennis Etchison Halloween 4 draft, which would not mesh well with more grounded tone of 2018. Well, Jesse, that's one looks like we have to look up for a script reading, because I'm not aware of that. When we did a Halloween 6 script reading a while back, we'll have to check into that. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the ending piece, person per person. So Steven, you didn't like the movie at all. Was the ending one of your big problems, or was that just more icing on the cake in this case?
I had checked out by the ending.
Okay.
Damn.
Can I just say I'm loving
What?
that poster behind you? The thing?
Oh yeah,
That's beautiful.
That's an OG too.
Is it?
yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, you're muted, Mike.
Exact
But
same poster.
By the
Yeah,
way,
it's-
dude, you hated this film more than I did. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's off the wall right now because if there's something wrong with the frame, I gotta take it in. So
so Snow, since obviously Steven checked out by then, what did you think of the ending?
Okay, so the ending. All right, before I even say that, there's a pivotal point in this movie that made me a believer that it was a good movie. You know, because about halfway up till basically when Laurie Strode grabs that syringe and plugs it into her ass
Right.
and talks about, no more pain. I was like, oh, here we go. It's going to be the strong woman. She's going to run out and save the day, and I'm going to absolutely lose my shit and hate this movie. Instead, her first knee to the groin or whatever splits her stitches, and she's right back in the hospital bed.
Damn near bleeding to death, yeah.
How it was supposed to be in a real life situation.
Mhm.
Then I was on board immediately at that point, because I was like, okay, they're being realistic about shit. And then the
Oh,
mob
she jacked that
mentality-
guy good, though.
Oh yeah, she got him. The mob mentality was a nice little tip of the hat of the evil inside. It was kind of showing how the mob itself was its own Michael Myers. I like that mirror thing that they were kind of going back and forth. I saw the deeper image of the story. I did. And as it progressed, the ending was a nice tip of the hat to a gang mob going around. Who has never wanted to, I've always wanted to see that in a horror movie, where you saw the whole mob of people that were already had an experience with this guy, get a
Right.
nice lick at a time at him, and they all kind of took their time. The one guy came in with the gun, got his hand nearly chopped off, switched hands, and shot him anyway. So it was a nice little, there was moments in there where it was like, this is realistic, this feels like this could happen, except of course him actually getting up after that. But it was Michael, and I loved it. So, like I said before, it's a bridge movie, guys. You can't read into it too much. You can't read into the ending too much. And they had to kill off one of the Strodes to make Mom or Laurie, have her vengeance in the final movie.
Right. I mean, which is weird because the mom part, like, I didn't like her or I liked her more in the first movie, and I hated the daughter, and it kind of flip flopped in this movie.
Right.
Because like one of the first things I texted Jesse was like, I don't understand why the mom's acting this way. That was one of the interesting parts of the earlier part.
I didn't understand why
Because they're
Laurie
not-
was acting the way she was. She has absolutely no reason to go through all of this stuff about how he's not a man and blah, blah, blah. And every time he kills, he gets stronger. And then what suggested that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Any of the other movies?
There was part one, the last one, and this one.
That's
and this
one thing I
lineage.
did have a
There's
problem
nothing
with
there.
the last time was that whole thing of like, yeah, because he kills like more people in the first 5 minutes of this movie and in the last movie than he did in the entirety of the first.
But
I got to address something. This is a slasher movie that's different than a lot of them, other than Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, I could say, because he wasn't just a serial killer, right? Which most slashers are one victim at a time. He was also a mass murderer. That's rare in a horror movie, actually. We don't see that a lot, and they brought that up twice.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, and I would also say that I was also satisfied with the higher body count, and but
it
this
also has a
actually
problem.
did make me appreciate the last movie more because every kill mattered. Every single one mattered. The suspense.
Yeah, there was.
there.
Well, he killed 11 firemen just in the beginning.
Yeah, he kills like 30
seriously.
people.
This one went over 20, I think.
Yeah, it was almost 30.
It's 30.
At the end, you can't tell how many though.
Yeah.
Well, not everyone that was killed by Michael Myers. That one other patient that was fucking out of nowhere. They wasted their time. Halfway through with the one guy jumping off the building, but that was a satisfying.
Yeah, but I liked that though because that's what would Snow. I was just popping off of what you're just saying there. That's the other thing I like because that's where I get where this is like you said. I seeing all the underlying things they're doing here, especially connecting it with the last one. And it made that doctor mean a little bit more and this whole thing mean a little bit more. And it's like, you look at it, it's like, it does. Like the Joker says in Dark Knight, all it takes is just a little push. And look at how the whole entire fucking town turned into a bunch of psychos compared to Michael, who's this methodic, he's not all crazy like that and shit. Like, it's just the way they kind of show the whole thing. It's like, they're technically worse than he is at one point.
Yeah, you've got Tommy Doyle right near the beginning saying we'll never give in to fear, and then
the whole town gives into fear. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, one like 2 or 3 second shot that I actually loved in this movie was the sheriff sitting in the stairwell after it happened, and he was just like, "Fuck my life."
That's what I was trying to say. That's why the cops aren't around near the end. The sheriff had pretty much given the town over to the community,
to the mob.
I like
the town was lost as far as he was
concerned. But I got a big problem with this now. I'm thinking about it now. Twice in this movie, he took on a group and just devastated them. So why did he ever give up in the first place?
Because they underestimated him, and he just was waiting. That's the whole thing with Michaels. He just
but right in the beginning when they flashed back to his initial arrest, it was just same amount of people or less. I mean, they had guns.
They started
drawn.
kicking the shit out of him. It was the other cop that stopped them. Remember, Pat?
They had Loomis there as well. Loomis kind of had a hypnotic type of thing with him, where he could trance him for
That's
just
the other
a
thing
minute
too,
to get his attention. Which I like to say that they did a great job with
They did.
Oh, they did. Yeah,
they did.
Oh, that was one of the best. Like, did they hire one of the deep fake dudes from?
I imagine it had to be a deep fake, and then they had just somebody who was really good with the voice. Yeah.
That fooled me. That was really.
It was miles
really
better
well
than Peter
done.
Cushing.
Spoiler, it was Tom.
I shot him 6 times.
I swore it was Donald Pleasence.
If there's
It
any,
was
if
so good.
It was just nice to see his face again, honestly.
Hey,
It really was.
Tom, can we do Kill of the Night? I'd like to go first. A knife to the face for the doctor guy.
Oh, in the eyeball?
That was so good. So good.
I'm gonna have to go with the nurse.
Okay, everybody do quick kill of the night, and then we got to get to Mike's reaction to the ending. Okay, we'll start with Steven. Go ahead.
Oh, great. Well, if there's one thing about the movie is that the title does not lie. Halloween Kills. And yeah, wow, there are so many. Yeah, the knife to the eye was good. Cameron probably for me. Because it was just like, I'm surprised you lasted this fucking long.
In a dress?
In a fucking
that was
dress.
probably mine. The one on the stairs where he's just bucking his head up, just like.
Oh yeah, that was a really good.
And
one.
what it's
He
awesome
did a
is if you
number on
listen,
that poor
I
son
don't
of
know,
a bitch.
I don't know if you can not hear it in the surround sound or not, but I had, even though it's in 2 channels, I had it boosted out to my surround sound, and you can hear his.
Yeah.
I can
Nice.
hear it.
Like there was a lot of that. Just like, oh my god, they paid.
I
attention
love that
to
he
some of
came around the
detail.
staircase all slow and was looking at her. He was like, "Yeah, you know I'm gonna do it."
Yeah.
If I could say,
When he did that, I was half expecting the dude to just give him a fucking stone cold stunner right off the, with his head right through the banister and just be like, "What, bitch?"
I thought what would have been cool, like he rips his head off instead of twisting his neck. I thought
it looked
I'm
like he was
glad
going
didn't.
to.
I'm glad he didn't, because I'm glad they actually backed off a little bit on his human power in this one, because that's one thing I didn't like about 2018, where he's just like fucking twisted that one guy's head around like 3 times over, and then he crushed the doctor's head like it was nothing. It's like, dude,
Unless the
like,
neck
he's
is broken, it just kind of
strong, but-
moves.
I get that, but like there was just some things he did in that first
I
one that
know.
was just like way too Jason-y. In this one, at least, it was.
He was
It-
super.
Hey,
within
what's
reason.
wrong with Jason?
Nothing.
Different
It was just
characters.
the supernatural strength of it all. Like, I mean, I get it.
That's why
I've
I
seen
really think it
videos of-
should have switched at part 4. He should have escaped to the woods where he lived as a wild man and got strong as a beast for 20 years.
All right. So your favorite kill, Mike, and then we'll keep moving along here.
My favorite kill, I got to go with Lenny Clark getting the multiple knives placed in him. The old man.
I
It kind
actually
of shocked me
thought,
that was Lenny Clark, but I'll give honorable mention to the doctor dressed up as a nurse that shoots herself in the face,
yeah,
because that was the most realistic kill in the whole damn movie. Just because there's no that woman should not. There's no way she can handle that gun,
Very true.
and yeah, she can't handle it. So in the end,
All right. Well, Jesse, I think you kind of gave yours, but go ahead. What's your
Mine
favorite?
is super easy. It's Big John and Little John as the combo. Because- you know why? Because I love that he played the record and he set them up just like their happy picture in their death, and he used that as a war and a bait trap.
Yeah, that's typical Michael.
Yeah,
Chef?
smart.
Mine was pretty much when he took out the whole firefighters, and when he took them all out.
I wish that was longer.
Shot for shot. When he walked out of the fucking building and the motherfucker was on fire and he just squares up with the fucking pickaxe.
Mhm.
And these motherfuckers square up with the axes like, okay, let's go to work. Let's see what you got. And he goes to fucking town.
Yeah, the first guy tried the
The first POV of the axe going through through his helmet was awesome, because I liked how every camera angle kind of went back to his dead body. But you saw, especially with the saw, you got to see when it went through his body, and then you got to see it go through his helmet, that POV, and then you got to see another POV through this fucking helmet. Those shots to me were fucking beautiful.
and not too much blood.
And it wasn't too gory, because you know how some horror movies, they can over glorify it.
Mm-hmm.
This one was perfect. It wasn't too bloody, it wasn't too gory, it was just right. It was just, how would Michael react after one? I love the fact that he hid where Laurie had the fucking guns. When the firefighter fell through when he fell through the floor, and he was like, oh, there's something, and he opens up I was like, that's where he hid. I said, that's where I would have hid. I was like, and he comes.
That's what Batman did.
And I was like, and he comes out, and he just fucking just takes that out, and he takes like 3 good whacks, and that last one goes right through his fucking head. And I'm like, here we go.
Yeah, and that was kind of a precursor to the end too, and that's why I didn't really have a problem with the ending either, because I knew he was playing coy. I thought though they were gonna cut it right there, like they were gonna, I thought they were gonna take him in, and then he would come back. Like everybody would like make him disperse, and they would take him inside as on the slab. But no, like they just had him come right back. I'm like, oh shit, like, whoa, okay, I see what you're doing here. Because like otherwise, if they wouldn't have had that earlier scene, I'd been like, come on.
See,
All
the
those
first
people and shit,
firefighter, I got to break that scene down just a little bit because I know the gear. The 1.5 line, I ain't gonna do shit. It might take out a hippie, but you need, it's a 1 3/4 line. You need the 2.5 line to take down a man like that. Okay, that's what they use for riot control. That was the first mistake. But that's the line they would have brought into the house. They used the right line to bring into the house. It's what the guy had. He thought it might work. It did not. Hooligan bar, pry bar to the skull. Okay. Now you kill the K-12 saw. They had a wood blade on it. Bugged the shit out of me because that's supposed to be an all-purpose blade. Those things will cut through a piece of bluestone like it's a sheet cake. Okay. So when that went right through his helmet with that quick of blood, that's all you would see. That was well done. Wrong blade, but still well done. But I wish that scene would have been longer because there's a lot of firefighters there. When you see the aftermath, he also took all their axes and put them in their bags. He was cutting people's heads off. Show some of that. Show how crazy this son of a bitch
Well, I
is.
mean, you pretty much got the gist when he was going to work. I mean, my jaw, like after that, I mean, when they shot to the next scene, my jaw was still open. My mouth was still. I was like, holy fuck! I was like pissed off much. I was like, your sister set you on fire. I was like, I'd be pissed the fuck off too. Like,
And he got
motherfucker.
trapped.
I was like, you trapped me. You set me on fire. He was like, of course I'm pissed.
Yeah, he was very angry. I used to do servicing of fire extinguishers,
Oh,
and
did you?
I know for a fact if you let one off in somebody's face, it actually chokes you out. It takes the oxygen right out of you. So
Right.
I was kind of surprised they didn't pull that one out and try to choke him out with a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, because there's
Yeah.
different kinds, right? Like the CO2 one will get rid of all the air. Then the other ones, there's a lot of weird chemicals in them.
Oh yeah, it'll blind
Yeah.
you, cut off your oxygen, all that.
Mhm.
All right, well,
Especially if you got a
but-
mask on.
But if I did
like
have
that.
to say
It's
like
kinda
best
silly.
solo,
Maybe.
but if I have to pick like a best solo kill, it would have been Cameron because
Yeah.
he took his time on that boy.
Yeah.
I mean, even when he stuck his head up and down on the goddamn wooden stake and he was still fucking breathing,
I
I
thought
was
he was
like,
gonna live too.
I was
Yeah.
like, holy shit, he might make it. And then she was like,
He's just
come
gonna
and
be
get. She's like,
quadriplegic,
come
yeah.
and get me, motherfucker. And then he looks at him, and I was like, yeah, he's gonna snap his neck. Bye.
Again.
All right, so Justin,
Yeah, and
favorite-
he only did it because she was watching.
Yep.
Justin, what's your favorite kill?
Oh man, I think. Well, in retrospect, it's got to be that firefighter who just had no choice, but his last dying moments was seeing all of his brothers die in front of him, and he can't do a goddamn thing about it because he's dying, obviously.
Right.
But the last thing that I'm glad that it did cut to that because it much like well, actually, you know what? My favorite kill, my favorite death scene, actually, if I'm gonna be perfectly honest, is that other mental patient, who jumped off the roof.
His swan
Because
song.
what?
Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
yeah, and the reason why is because, well, first off, he was still kind of like breathing, and his eyes were still moving. It was the most disturbing, and it was exactly what happens, when somebody gets falsely accused of something, and then they're like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? These people are gonna fucking kill me. They're either gonna trample me, they're gonna beat me to death, or I can just jump off
Mhm.
and just save
Yep.
myself all the pain. But the pain is still there.
Oh,
So
he fucked himself up bad, and they showed it.
yeah, they really did. Especially like I can imagine like the people on set, afterwards were like, holy shit. It's like
Well, I
like,
mean,
he
you
had that
saw
last-
the town's reaction to it, like
Yeah.
after they were like, "Evil
Killed him
town!"
right
Oh
out.
shit, he killed himself.
Well, the
never
whole
mind.
town
They
killed him,
showed-
basically.
They're like the
Right.
town killed him, and they realized what happened. They're like, maybe.
I was kind of
Tommy's
surprised
off
they
the
showed so
rocker.
much of it. Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
just
well-
weird that not one of them was like, hey, you know what? He's kind of small and old and fat, and he looks like he's mentally handicapped.
That's kind of the
Well,
whole
it
point,
took
though,
the
is
sheriff
It's
to
like
look
he's
at him and
sitting
go,
there,
"It's
he's
not
sitting there
him."
going like this. That's autism.
Well, it just shows how, like I said earlier, it just shows how quickly the whole town can turn, and everybody's all like, "Michael's this monster. He's this, that, and the other." And look how it didn't take nothing for the entire town to basically kill that guy.
But
Yeah,
I do
and-
like how Michael did get his revenge on Tommy with the baseball bat.
Oh, he
I was a
popped
little
his head
sad
like
when
a
Tom
noodle.
got
After,
it
he,
already.
after when he got his
You know
revenge
what?
with the baseball bat, I was like, that is poetic justice.
What kind of revenge
It really
is he
is.
taking? He was a
Like
little
he
kid.
hit
All right, we gotta
he hit him with a baseball bat.
We
So he was
gotta
like, "Bitch, I'll hit you with a baseball bat."
We got to get round though. So, Mike, what was your reaction to the ending then?
Uh-oh,
I thought it was
shit.
sloppy.
Okay.
I just thought it was sloppy.
Thank you.
I didn't really care about who lived and who died at the end, but it was just I was expecting a little bit more. Once she lures Michael away, I was expecting a little bit more, and it's just kind of sloppily handled, and then it just ends. And I thought having Lori kind of narrate over the ending was a little much. So.
Too forced.
That's fair.
Yeah, it was very
Mm.
much forced, and that's what bothered me about that too. It made me so angry.
Yeah, because they could have timed it differently, where she says that he doesn't die, and that's when he flips it around and like cuts the guy.
See, but this is what
they said it, and then they waited, then they did it.
Yeah, they waited. They waited a little bit, and then Judy Greer is fine. Then she goes into the house like a fucking idiot, and then he's in there, and the police are still there. Nothing is being done at all. It was so aggravating because
I am glad they killed her instead of the granddaughter, though, because the next film would be very different if those roles were reversed.
Well, think about it. You got in the next one, you've got Jamie Lee. She's got what, stitches and staples in her fucking side.
Well,
and her granddaughters now have a broken leg. If
that's going to be my next question, actually.
It's like, how the fuck are you gonna do? Like, who? Like,
I don't think the next movie takes place right after this one.
I was just going to say,
if it doesn't,
she already brought
that
up. She said next Halloween.
Yeah, I think it's going to be next Halloween.
I said, if this movie continues on with this night, I said it's fair. Michael's got fucking easy pickings. It's like, fuck.
No,
because you've got Will Patton's character who's too injured to do anything in the next movie. It takes place right away. You got Jamie Lee Curtis who's too injured, and the granddaughter. So the next movie has to take place like a year later.
That's what I was thinking too through this whole movie, because like you just said, Mike, and how realistic, like Snow brought up, that they made Laurie's injuries and everybody else's.
Yeah, because I was like, is she going to turn into Superwoman when she injects the painkiller into her?
Oh yeah, that was
the painkiller doesn't work. I was like, thank you, it didn't work.
Because
as soon as she kneed him in the balls, and I said those stitches busted, and she kind of went limp. I said, "Oh, thank God." Okay.
Yeah. Nobody's brought this up yet, but for anybody who doesn't know, Laurie never left the hospital in this movie.
No, just like part 2.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that was another thing. Because of part 2, you're thinking, well, he's going to end up there eventually, but
you notice she wasn't,
because it's way too obvious.
But you notice she wasn't really in a hospital gown the whole time.
Because he's not after her, and that's what I loved about this. Is like they retroactively. I mean, even though I bitched about it before, I never thought of it that way. It was like he never was after her. It was the doctor's fault that he got involved.
Yeah, and the only one that knew that from the get-go was the granddaughter.
Or that she got involved. I mean, that's
Lori
what I liked
and her
about
daughter
that.
both assumed that he was after them specifically, but only the granddaughter really knew the truth.
Exactly. And that was kind of where I was like, okay, now, I mean, it's starting to come together a little bit better for me. And I agree. The ending did feel a little rushed, but I think you guys are right. And since we already got your feeling on the ending, Justin, we'll go from here then, because that's what I got from this one is you guys keep bringing up, this is a bridge, like Snow brought it up a few times too. And we've all kind of said it in a few ways, and that's what I was.
Much a mirroring of things.
I don't know. Somebody correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. I thought she even said in an interview Jamie Lee did that there will be a time jump between this one and the next one.
She said there will be a brief
4-year one.
She said that I think it's 3 or 4 year time.
Because I even read something about it will even acknowledge like COVID and shit, and that's why I thought they were going to stop it to where somebody stopped him after they had him down on the ground, and they were going to kind of leave it ambiguous. Because then you could have set it up to where he's just sitting in an asylum for the next few years until he decides, or she goes and gets nuts and tries to break him out or something.
Okay, so would a better ending have been, instead of him getting back up and killing everybody, Tommy Doyle goes in for the kill, and Jamie Lee's daughter stops him from killing Michael, and he gets arrested again?
That's what I was thinking.
No, it's going to happen.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
On her boyfriend.
You're right, Mike. And I'm not saying that wouldn't have been the better ending, but
I'm not saying it's better either. But I'm just wondering what people think about that.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
When like the whole town was like going literally to town on Michael, you could see the satisfaction on her face of like it was arousing to her, like she was getting off on it. So she wouldn't stop something like that. Going, yeah,
I don't know.
Let's take him to jail.
They foreshadow.
Let's take him to the same asylum or some shit.
I don't know. They kind of foreshadow her doing something like that with the other mental patient. That she's the one that doesn't give in to fear in the entire film until right at the very end.
And I thought that's where it was going to go, and maybe there is an alternate ending to that. But like, I do understand though why they had to kill the daughter, like to a point.
Yeah, I do too. But
they should have saved it.
If anybody was going to die, it was going to be her.
Well,
I got to bring this up real quick. All right. At the beginning of the movie, Chef mentioned that right in the intro they had the mirroring of the pumpkins, right?
Yeah.
Then in the middle of the movie, they have the mirroring of Little John and Big John, where Little John
Oh,
grabs the big knife and Big John grabs the little knife.
And not only
He's
that,
all,
at
"I
the
got a
picture
knife."
Then
there,
at the end, they have the mirroring of
there's
the
a lot of
grandmother and the
mirroring.
granddaughter.
Yeah, a lot of
Exactly. And not only
And
that,
it's
in the
all about
picture,
just
they're the
playing
opposite.
back and forth.
Not only that,
Interesting.
Jesse, in the picture, they're the opposite from what they're laid from what Michael does too.
Oh,
and
you're
like,
right.
that's like,
Development by
and I think
Michael.
they what was that? Sorry, Snow.
I was just saying, there's more character development there by Michael too, because he's been very decorative in this movie. He also did it with
Yes.
the truck.
Very
Yeah.
decorative.
Yeah,
He
you
puts
know
the
what I
masks
mean?
on him, puts him on the
He put-
merry-go-round. It was brilliant. I really
Well, he
loved
did
it.
that
I
in
like
first
how he
movie
put the
too, yeah.
candy around, on the
Yeah.
merry-go-round. How he had the candy dressed up. How he hung up girlfriend with the fucking. I mean, he did. He
That
got
was great.
classy with the. He got
like-
classy with the bottom.
I like
Creative.
seeing the Halloween 3 masks thrown in there.
I mean, I
Yeah,
still
that-
do.
the two right there. Well, the pumpkin mask, like that's
Well, all
not
three of them are
very
there.
like.
But I
You know,
mean,
at
at a
at
least they
2018.
made it obvious that those kids were all dicks.
Well, I mean, at a
No, he
2018,
kills
I
without the
still
mask.
did like how he killed those two cops and set them up in the cop car when they got to Michael's house. How he had the fucking flashlight in the guy's head. That
And,
still was like the
the-
best.
Secondary crazy guy from the asylum crashing into the transformer was the callback to them killing the wrong Michael Myers,
Yes.
because he was the wrong Michael Myers. But it's also a callback to part 4 where he went
There
to
is a
the,
shit ton
to
of
the
callbacks.
electric center or whatever, and he throws the technician into the transformer to kill the power in the town.
Because like
Yeah.
that's the thing is this movie won me over in a way, and that's where it kind of reminded me of comic books, and that's where I got to the whole Martin Scorsese thing I said at the start of our, kind of getting into spoilers, because like, and that's where I kind of got off like this high horse of why can't I just accept this for what it is? And I don't mean that in the whole like, I'm, oh, it's crap, but I'll still watch it. No, it was like, okay, this is a whole nother thing. I can accept it now. There's no going back, right? There is no going back and doing any of that shit. And that's where I said it helps that this series has been so fucked up. Because now if they'd done something like this to like Nightmare on Elm Street, I might not be as accepting, right? Or even Friday the 13th for that matter.
Oh,
But
if
now
they
in this
only if they
case-
only had the first Friday the 13th count and then the
Yeah, or
other
something
one.
like that.
Oh, that would have that. Yeah, see, that's
You have a
that's
different
something that
situation
doesn't
here
work.
where I'm like, yeah, like I'm okay with this. And what helped with it, I think, was going back into that first movie a little bit and how well they handled all that shit. And I think you're right, Mike. I think that should have been the other ending.
So can I have a
go
I
ahead.
had a
It's the one
I had a
building- it's the
cringe
one the
I had
movie's
a
building
cringe
towards.
thing.
Yeah.
I had one. There was one.
Just one.
No, there was one specific line that really made me fucking cringe. I mean, the rest of it I could take it or leave it. Was when Lori and her daughter sitting there talking in the hospital, and and her daughter's talking about the system and how it failed.
And
then, of course-
you
Lori-
knew.
And then, of course, Lori, instead of saying, I'm thinking to myself, it's like, fuck the system. No, she's like, the system failed. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
But she's wrong anyway. The system didn't fail. It was
And
his
I'm like,
doctor that let him out.
Yeah. And I'm like, you're wrong. It was the doctor. But
Well, that is the system. So the system did fail. The system completely betrayed them.
Yeah, but you can't blame the system on one person.
Well,
Yeah.
you can in this movie.
But in her defense, Chef,
Well,
she's not aware of all the
he was
events
old.
yet when she says that.
Well, I know that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I kind of gave her that Attagirl until, and then she finds out when Tommy runs in the room. He's like, so and so's dead, and she's like, what? It's like, yeah.
Oh man, I do have to give it to senior citizen Michael Myers for fucking everybody up at his age. The Frodo of the Eight
Yeah.
Fingers. Holy shit.
I was a little disappointed they didn't show his face. I get, he was like the shadow. I'm like,
we
you
know
took
what
off
Nick
his-
Castle looks like.
I'm like,
Well,
you
when
took
you
off
see
his
his face, you
goddamn
get to see
mask.
that his eye is missing.
Yeah, I was like, I wanted to see the scarring on his face. I wanted to see the damage done. That's been
That's-
done over
John
40 fucking years.
Carpenter has always said this is the shape. You don't put a face on this character because
Yeah.
he's always been the shape. If you stay true to the original movie.
That's true. Yeah.
You did get enough glimpses. You got to see his one eyelid is fucked up from Laurie in the first movie from poking his eye. He's got a hole burnt into his cheek from getting burnt.
Yeah.
You do see some, and like I
See,
said,
what I think that scene
And-
does
and the
more
Eight
than anything, it
Fingers,
shows
that's
that
why-
he's actually healing.
and I've seen enough interviews and stuff with Nick Castle and stuff like that that I am pretty goddamn sure that every time we see him without the mask, that's Nick.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Because here's the other thing, and unless somebody knows in the chat, because there was
I don't
something
think it is.
something went down. They were bringing the original actor back. Angel something or other is his name. I can't remember, something like that.
It's not. It's like Jason something.
Yeah, maybe it's Jason something or whatever. But like,
Yeah.
Voorhees.
but
It
like
looked-
he,
Yeah, I know. Another.
they actually
Jason.
shot something with him. I heard, but they cut it out, and it was because of some controversy with the guy. I don't know if it was something in his past or if he was like a Trump supporter or something. I never even found out what it was. But if somebody knows in the chat, let me know. But yeah, there was supposed to be a scene because remember the whole thing with like, you know, she says she wants to look into his eyes and see him die. And then like that, so it probably came in that scene where, because remember they keep talking about like Laurie says she's seen his face, and Tony Moran, that's his name. Thank you so much, guys. I don't know where I got that all those other names from,
Yeah,
but
Tony Moran.
oh, that I know where I got the angel thing from. It was because John Carpenter hired him because he said he looked like he had the face of an angel or something like that, but like the eyes of the devil or some shit like that. Because he looked like just like this beautiful face of like a model, but like he just had these piercing eyes or whatever it was. But
wow, what a great backhand compliment to give somebody. You have the face of an angel, but your eyes, oh my goodness.
well, what's weird is he has his son playing young Michael in a couple of other scenes. I don't know if it's Cody or the other one, but like yeah.
Shit, I would too.
I think every
My
shot in
son
this
would love
movie,
that.
it was James Jude Courtney. Like
It
from
could have been.
when they show him from the death, because James Jude Courtney has very short hair.
Well, they probably made
And
him look the
Michael's
same.
balding on top. Nick Castle has very long hair. There's no way they're putting.
He does. That
He has
doesn't mean
longer
that,
hair, yeah.
it doesn't mean they didn't have him cut it for this to make him look like the other actor too.
No, I just saw Nick Castle last month.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
There was just a picture
did
on
I.
Instagram with both of them standing next to each other.
And because I stood 2 feet away
I'd
from
steal that.
Nick Castle and James Jude Courtney like a month ago. So
All right.
Is that his name? The new Michael.
yeah, it's James Jude Courtney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's his name's not Jason. I'm sorry. But
Yeah, they were both at Horror Hound, like sharing a table at Horror Hound last month.
Yeah, that was pretty great. By the way, PJ Souls, what a great person.
Okay, he has one scene
He's
in
great.
Halloween Kills, according to him. He won't say what it was.
Wait, who?
Nick Castle.
Yeah,
Said he
because
had
whenever
one
they
scene.
any recent
I think it's
interviews,
when
they're-
he was unmasked and he's walking around.
That's what I was
I-
thinking.
I have a quick question. They have that
You gotta
very
rem-
brief.
Well, sorry,
Tom.
I was just going to say, Mike, you got to remember they shot this 2 years ago.
That's true, but I mean Nick Castle's
Yeah.
hair is really long. It's not. He's got a big ponytail and everything.
Yeah, he's got a man bun now.
That doesn't
but-
mean they can't like CG it out either.
No, but it's James Jude Courtney.
There you go. That's from the official.
Looks
Mike
kind of
Myers
short
Instagram.
there, and they look like they got the same kind of face and everything. But yeah, you're
They
right.
have the
It's just-
same kind of face.
now that I
you're
see
right.
that, though, yeah.
All right,
probably-
that was him.
Yeah,
Damn
James
it.
Jude Courtney's
guy's
a
thinner.
big dude. James
Yeah,
Jude
he
Courtney's
is.
a big guy.
He's much taller.
Mask looks great though. Love it.
Yeah,
The
it
masks. Here's the
Took him
thing.
40
I
years
think
to
it's
get it
the
right.
second. It's the second best mask I've ever seen in a Halloween film.
Yeah, in the interview, Nick wouldn't say what scene it was. So
Well, maybe because he wasn't sure which one it was gonna be.
I like the singeing effect they did on the hair because you know it's fake hair and it burns a certain way, and they did it very, very carefully, but it's almost too carefully. But if they did any more, it wouldn't have looked right. So
No, but you're right though with that makeup with the eye. Man, that was him. Damn it! I thought that was it.
yeah, I don't know.
But oh man, I do love how he I don't remember when he probably must have bandaged his fingers up. But you know, that was that tiny detail, and like little things like when Big John and Little John are in the house and they have like the 3-finger kind of smear of blood. I love that, little things like that. See, this is why I love the film right up until the end, when I was so angry. Just I'm not as angry now because I'm just like, okay, you guys might have a fucking plan, so let's see where it goes. But Jesus,
how did you like the guy from Mad TV as Little John?
I love Little John.
I felt
They
that
had a
even though
few
I know who
comedians.
he was not distracting.
They had a
Well,
few
yeah,
comedians and roles in this movie.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
they
that's
were
'Cause
really
the-
good. They were
wanted
good.
the guy
That's
that
that's a okay. Now a gay couple owns
Does
the Myers house,
Because
and
Big John
it's
and
just
Little
like
John are
it's
both comedians, and then you had Lenny Clark playing the old man that gets killed early in the movie.
Can anyone tell me the significance of the guy mentioning that his mother kept bees before she died? Was that just precursing his own death that he was eating honey? I mean, what was that about?
I don't know. I think it was just a character
I
moment.
don't.
I don't think there was any
It's just kind of like a
significance.
sandwich talk
Just
in
a
the last
filler.
movie.
Kind of like the one in the first movie. Big Daddy MRI says, I get up to stub my toe and wind up taking a leak. Who knew? And I find y'all are streaming. Happy streaming. I'll catch the stream when I'm awake. Cheers. Well, thank you, Big Daddy MRI. Yeah, we're talking some Halloween kills. So I don't know if you've seen the movie.
Watch
yet,
it first.
Yeah, watch it first. We're talking spoilers.
Please do.
Honestly,
I would cut it off at before like the 5-minute mark, and then just stop watching, and then it'll be like one of the best Halloween films you've ever
The
seen.
two in the Myers house were cut out. Like, you
No,
cut
no,
them
no, no,
apart.
no,
No,
no.
the scene. He
No,
meant
I
the
know. I'm goofing
scene.
around.
Yeah, but see, like I don't have a problem. Again, as I said earlier, like I don't have a problem with Judy Greer dying. In fact, that's probably the best thing they could have done. You know, and I can imagine in Halloween Kills, Laurie Strode being like, "Not my daughter, you bitch," you know, something like that.
Yeah, because if
Like-
they would have killed the granddaughter, I think that would have that would have been a
that
different-
would have.
It's too
that movie
final.
would have been
It feels
the
too
third
final.
movie. The third movie would have been very different, and I don't think I would have liked that movie. I like the idea of killing the daughter more for the next film, so I'm glad they chose correctly there. They chose wisely.
Very, very much so. I agree with you.
I don't
there.
think the daughter's going to die. I think Laurie's going to die. I think we kind of have a good idea. of how it's gonna end.
They actually said on the Halloween battle, it was like, "Oh yeah, Laurie dies."
I think
Just
Jason
as a
Voorhees
joke,
is going to
but
pop
like,
out. They're going to go
Maybe.
toe to toe. That'd be
but
pretty
I,
cool.
you know, hopefully
It'll
it's
be
a more
Chucky.
satisfying
Chucky, yeah.
death than Halloween 4, where she's like, "Oh, she's dead," like off screen. Fuck that. That's worse than Resurrection, killing her off screen. What the fuck?
No, I think they kind of telegraphed what's going to happen in the next movie. And I think you're right, Jesse. And I think Chef pointed out too a little bit with the whole mirror thing. I think that's where you're going to get into the last one, where she's going to go completely into hunter mode,
Mhm.
They're both-
and
She
she's going to go
has to.
complete Sarah Connor on his ass. And,
Yeah.
And then
And-
she's gonna get the shit kicked out of her because she's an old lady.
and they'll die together.
They'll die in each other's
Because then
arms.
after this, it's just going to be like a
But I
Bond
think in
reboot
the
thing,
next
yeah.
one they're going to have to kill the granddaughter to give it that extra weight.
Well,
because
you
without killing the granddaughter, the story technically.
You
is
know, I
continuing.
thought they were going to do it in this one.
I think that Halloween
I didn't
ends
believe
means
it for
that
a second.
everybody is going out together.
No, I didn't believe it for a second, Tom, that they were going to kill the granddaughter. No way. I was surprised that, that Michael even let her live, just like, hey, I'm going to let you suffer first by killing your boyfriend who's wearing a fucking dress. And then
you got to take into consideration the whole town just went through an experience. If he disappears for a year or two or whatever, the whole town's going to be in paranoia. So when he comes back, it's not going to be just Laurie coming after him. It's going to be the whole town.
Hell yeah.
Again,
So it's going to be an apocalypse.
we already
It's
had
gonna
the
be like
mob
apocalypse.
mentality, but like, what are we gonna
But they're
have?
all gonna
Like,
have- they're all gonna be
fake-outs and
prepared
stuff.
and
We're gonna
stuff.
have Ben Tramer die again.
That's why
or
I'm
like-
not so
much
sure
full
that the
traps and
third.
stuff.
That's why I'm not so sure the third movie will even take place in Haddonfield.
Right.
And that's why I
That
was
would be weird.
surprised that they
Yeah,
didn't.
it'd be weird. It'd be
that
weird.
the ending didn't happen like
I don't
Mike
know.
said.
I don't think there's any way it can take place anywhere else. I mean, if
It
they
might,
truly,
but
if they really want to make a
Well-
statement, you have to see where Haddonfield is beyond this. What this night did to Haddonfield, because you saw what 1978 did to
true.
Haddonfield.
That's a very good point.
Now you're
Mike.
going to see what this time did to Haddonfield a few years later.
I'm
The
willing
town's
to
going to
believe
be
that gun sales are going to skyrocket.
Yeah. Well, like
Yeah,
somebody brought up earlier, I can't believe nobody has an automatic weapon in this movie. Well, they will by the next
Well,
one.
you know,
You heard that one
we
chick in the
can't thank
beginning,
The
she's like-
government for that.
Well, that one chick in the beginning, she's like, I've lived here my whole life. This used to be a safe town. So yeah, I think you're right, Mike. Like that's why. So yeah, you're probably right. I'm wrong on that. They're not.
yeah, I don't think
gonna take it
there's
away.
I don't think there's any way they take it out of Haddonfield.
But
I mean,
no,
I
it's
do
gonna
have
be-
to
you,
get.
you couldn't. That's like Scream taking place.
Or Friday the
in
13th,
Los
not taking place at
Angeles.
Like it did in
Oh
the
my
third one?
god. No,
I do.
or
I
like
do have
Friday
to
the
give her
13th.
granddaughter credit
Yeah.
though, because like that scene where she was upstairs with the shotgun, and Michael just grabbed it right as she pulled the trigger, moved it away, and how she dropped that shotgun and grabbed that fucking knife right out of her pants and just went
She
to
was
work.
ready.
She was fucking ready.
Well, she probably got a little bit of training from her mom.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I said I like that scene. I like that close quarter scene between him and her. How she had it.
Well,
She had that shot, and he just blocked it, and she just was like, "Fuck it," and just took the knife, and then he just grabbed her by the throat and just threw her down the stairs, and she was like, "Okay."
well, that's why I'm glad I watched the first one or the 2018 one again before I watched this, because I didn't like the granddaughter in the first movie, and I kind of stand by that. For the most part, I don't like her character, but so much more makes sense now when you see this, because like it's this whole dichotomy of like, because like I even said to Jesse, why is the Laurie's daughter acting that way? I can't remember her name, but like
Exactly.
Andrea?
That's the problem with the character.
yeah,
isn't it?
there's some of the character names they were really good with. Allison, yeah. And it's kind of my fault. I've only seen, because I didn't like the last one, so I only watched it like in the theater once, and then I got the Blu-ray, and I'm trying to even remember if I even watched it on Blu-ray. So I may have only seen it once before. So tonight I might have been the second time I watched it or third time. I can't even remember for sure. And then I watched this one right after it, like right in order, and so much more shit came like more clear. I was paying more attention this time to things that were picked up in the first time. So they do a good job of connecting things and, connecting dots, and, I'm more accepting of some of the out there things. And that's where I just kind of had to stop for a minute. Like, Jesse, you said there's a few things that kind of ruin your suspension of, or, you had a suspension of disbelief, but then it was ruined by a few scenes. But to me, I kind of had the opposite reaction. I'm just like, you know what? I got to have fun with this because it's a fucking Halloween movie. Right?
The best thing about this movie.
Oh, yeah, this
I,
movie
I
was
will
all
say
about
I had
just
more
Michael
fun
Myers
with
being a
this
badass.
movie than the last one.
We say,
I had
Mike?
so much more fun.
The best thing about this movie was that they revealed that Will Patton's character lives. The last movie, I hated in 2018 that they killed
Me
Will
too.
Patton's character.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, because I liked
Ditto.
that's one of the things I liked about this movie was her and his kind of thing, and I liked how they connected.
There's
all
a
the,
history there. Yeah.
They
Yeah,
are
the only
great
part-
together in this.
Yeah, the only part I
In
didn't
that
like was I
hospital
made
scene,
no
yeah.
sense for Marion to be at the bar with the kids. She should not even.
No.
She never even fucking met any of them in any way, shape, or form. She should have just been a separate thing. She could have been coming to town, right? Like, considering she has a history with Michael, like they could have done that. But outside of that, that was like my big complaint with her. She shouldn't have been with the other kids. She should have been off, like with the sheriff or something like that. They could have used her character much better than this.
Well, she probably had been meeting with the kids for years.
I get that, but
You know.
why? There would be zero fucking connection there outside of Loomis.
Support groups over the years.
I get that,
Who
I
knows?
guess, but maybe I suppose in the day and age of the
Yeah.
internet, I'll accept it. I'll accept
well,
it. But I just felt like it was a
well,
waste of her character.
I mean, you could argue
Well, how
that
old is she?
the
What else she
Jamie
gonna
Lee
do?
Curtis. She
Well, she could have
she's
been
still,
along, kind of like filling in some points here and there. Like
It was like
she-
Charles. It was like Charles Cyphers is in the movie in a few scenes, and
Well, my thing with him was
I
what
didn't
the
even
fuck
know he
is
was still
doing
alive.
as a cop. Like he's 90 goddamn years old. How is he still a fucking cop?
well, he was a security guard.
He's
Not a cop.
security
That's
guard
all
at the
they could
hospital.
do.
Okay. All right.
Wait,
Okay.
was that Sheriff Brackett? What?
Yeah,
was
I
Sheriff
thought
Brackett.
that was
Yeah.
a cop. I didn't
Charles
know he was a
Cyphers.
security guard.
I'm glad they brought him back. I actually thought that
Okay,
he
now
was.
I don't feel so stupid because I'm like, or I don't think it's so stupid. I should say I feel stupid because I thought he was a cop still. I didn't
No,
catch
he
that
was
a
security
No,
guard.
they,
I missed
yeah,
that.
they make a point of pointing out his patch on his head. Says,
Okay,
you know,
Yeah.
gotcha. I
hospital
fucking missed. I
security.
must have went and grabbed a soda. or
They're like,
something at
hey,
that point.
yeah, because they said, hey, you're not a cop anymore, and he like kind of gave
No,
him.
I
that
totally
fuck
missed
you,
that
like,
scene.
look.
Yeah, he says, "I'm the law, not you."
Yeah, he kind of,
yeah,
he's like, I'm the law,
with,
not you, and he's like,
Well, I
"All right,
remember that
okay,
scene.
whatever."
I just figured because he wasn't sheriff anymore. I missed the part where he said he was
Yeah,
a security guard.
you know, with that guy, he reminded me of the guy in the Final Friday. Who was it? What was the guy's name? Jesse.
Oh, you're talking about Creighton
Oh.
Duke?
Yeah, he
Creighton
reminded
Duke.
me of Creighton Duke
A little bit, but not really, because he's just kind of there. I mean, he doesn't.
He should have had more to do in this movie.
Well,
honestly. He was supposed to be the
I
chief
think
of
he'll have a
police.
lot more to do in the
Mhm.
next one because
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
loved him. The shot of him sitting on the stairs, being like, "Oh,
Well, yeah,
fuck."
because he's got all that living with him now, like that he let
Because
this
he
whole
realized
town
that
go
he
crazy,
lost
yeah.
the town.
Yeah, he
realized
lost
he
the
lost
town.
him.
He lost the respect of the town. He lost everything right there in that moment when the guy
wasn't
jumped
this,
off the roof.
And
You
was
know,
this-
or, yeah,
was
it
this
was
movie
just,
like a grand total of like 60 minutes real time, or maybe 2 hours real time?
well, you know what's interesting about that is Jamie
this
Lee
one was a
Curtis
really
and Judy Greer and everybody else was saying this is like a Halloween Me Too kind of movie, and that comes out
Why?
of why?
Oh, he killed lots of bitches.
Watch
that
the
involved.
movie again. Watch the movie again in that light, and you'll see, like, oh, you have like the real monster that's out there. Let's call him Harvey. Harvey is out like killing people and shit, and and then you have the
That's such
one
a
guy who
stretch.
kind of looks like him, who's falsely
Who
accused.
said this?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
I got to see this interview because she is stretching like a
She thinks
mofo.
Trump was
Big
stealing
time.
postal trucks too. So what does
Well,
she
this is
know?
why I'm kind of worried about part 3 because they're filming that right now, aren't they?
Somebody
They
was
finished.
stealing
They
votes.
wrapped.
It wasn't
It's already
Are
Trump.
they just wrapped?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Is like the one that's going to be woke is the third one probably.
Yeah,
Well,
This one was 2
was
years
too.
ago.
I got
This
one I
one
gotta
was
bring
too.
up
Even
right
this
here.
one, I don't see that shit. I don't see that at all. Because if anything, this says that Michael's not the real monster. The monster's in all of us, right? Like that's what I got from this movie.
That's
not really. It's more
I
like
didn't get that.
evil is internal. It comes from within you.
Well,
and
that's what I
the
mean.
right
Because
one
like they took
mentality.
the whole town like twisted. Like that's what my point was like, because Michael, yeah, he's methodic and he kills for no good reason.
And maybe,
But you
Yeah,
had
but
this whole
they
town
blame
turned-
everything on Michael though. They say
maybe
Michael
that's
turned
what
the
she
town
meant
this way.
by it. You know,
Look what
it's
Michael did.
all
This was
up
his
to-
plan.
Well, it's all up to our own interpretations.
I
of
guess
this.
maybe.
And what she said, she did say it was as Stileski said, woke Halloween, but she actually did say that. But yeah, it was.
I don't think
I don't
this
see
movie
the
had
woke
time
one.
to be woke.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I guess I don't see. I mean, I guess I see it in a broad sense.
Well, of course it has.
I
to
mean,
be
the only
broad,
woman that
but,
got an upper hand on a guy was Lori kneeing a guy in the balls.
Yeah,
Michael
it's-
didn't discriminate at
it's
all.
an
He
hour
killed,
and-
he killed
the ru-
everybody. He didn't care.
Yeah, the running time's like an hour and 45 minutes, but it doesn't feel like it's an hour. It
No,
feels much,
well,
much shorter.
Before it goes by too much, I really got to hit this one.
Snow
from
means an
depressed,
actual
Jets
time.
fan.
Because
Yeah,
I think he
no,
is
yeah.
right. Because the first 20 minutes of this movie are actually taking place during the last part of the last movie. We
Mhm.
don't catch up with Lori and her daughters until 20 minutes into the movie, and that's when they're still
10.
leaving the house. Oh, it's a little more than that, I thought.
Like 23 minutes.
Yeah, it's a little longer
Really
because
that long?
yeah, because
Yeah,
we have
I clocked it. I got notes, bro. I wrote notes. I
I
wrote
believe
down
her.
exactly
She does
when
that.
when the
Yeah,
fucking
include-
scenes start. It started at 23 fucking minutes. That's when you see them bitches in the back of
Wow,
a
you're
That's the
obsessive.
trailer that we got at the end of 2020 and said like, oh, we're doing
Yes,
this
because
next
the
year.
first 20 minutes, the first legit 23 minutes was 1978. That infamous
I was gonna
fucking
say there's
night.
there's a big flashback there. That's
That was the
probably-
big
yeah.
flashback. It took 23 minutes, and then you have the little intro, all that shit. I wrote, like I said, I wrote everything down. It took up 23 minutes until we caught up with the girls.
I didn't have a problem with that, but yeah, I can see that if this was a movie, and that's where that's why I said up front, I'm not gonna treat these movies anymore like cinema. And I get people in the chat are saying it's awful, and yeah, it is an awful movie in certain ways. I didn't even like the last one, but
It's
on this
not
point,
Schindler's List. You're
That's the
watching a
thing, yeah.
slasher movie.
like I said, you know what this is? This is just a glorified streaming series. That's what this is, guys. Look at this.
Yeah, but how could they have broken
Hold
it
on,
up
hold on.
methodically?
Wait,
hold
wait.
on. Hey, hold on. So
What?
you can watch this on Peacock now. You can go see this in theaters, or you can wait until October 22nd and stream it on HBO Max for free. So now there are all your options for streaming this fucking movie.
When it's coming to HBO Max,
It's going on
weird.
HBO Max on October 22nd. I just saw an
Well,
article
bigger
about
than
it.
Peacock. It makes
Wow.
kind of sense.
If that's true, then I should have waited.
that's weird.
Like I said, you guys can all wait until October. Most of you in the chat, if you want to wait until October 22nd to go see it on fucking HBO Max for free.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
a
All
weird
right,
but-
this one
thing.
is stuck in my head. But
Are
the
we,
press,
well,
hold on,
Jets.
hold on a goddamn minute. The press
Hold-
Jets fan said Michael should have used the pitchfork for a kill. Wasted opportunities. He could not use the pitchfork for a kill. It would
It's not
violate
his
horror
MO.
movie rules. No,
It's
it's
not
not
his
that
MO.
it's not his
What
MO.
horror movie
There was
rules?
all
Like,
every time there's a weapon that's used
He
on a
used
killer
the
and assault. Give
pitchfork.
me a goddamn minute to talk. For Christ's fucking sake. It's like dealing with children. Playing cards with my sister's kids. Don't even have
It's
one.
proper. It's all proper.
But okay, look, when they focus on a weapon that's not to the character, you can't use that. That's for the hero to use against you. That's why they show it and made a point of it. That's why he taps the golf club on it. When he tapped the golf club on it, showing that it was a real pitchfork, that eliminated it from the bag of weapons for Michael Myers. That's the rules.
Well, we figured
know,
out how. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Jesse makes a great point. There's a lot of lore here. I'm a big fan of John Carpenter, so I was watching his interviews back before the first one came out, and that's kind of what got me on board, because these guys approached John Carpenter and they said, "Okay, you've been complaining about all these Halloween sequels. You hate them. You're disgusted by them. How about you come on as a creative consultant and you help us get through these next 3 movies and give them the okay and give them your thumbs up?" When I found out that he was on board for all that and that he loved these sequels, he especially loved this one. He hasn't talked about the third one yet, but there is interviews out there you could see where John Carpenter just loved this one, and the punishing kills in this one he thought were just amazing. So I was really looking forward to this movie just from what John Carpenter was saying about it. And because he's a creative consultant and because he created Halloween, I do believe there's going to be a good tie-in that wraps all 4 of these movies together.
To be
I
fair, John
really
Carpenter
hope the
likes
next
money.
movie isn't fucking woke.
John Carpenter likes anything that makes him money.
And by the way, for the one person in the comments who was saying that this we were taking it out of context, possibly I was misinterpreting it, but honestly, that is what Jamie Lee Curtis said.
I'll have to hear what she said exactly, but yeah. I'm not saying she didn't say it, because that's the thing. If that's the case, then that's the technically, I mean, I can kind of see it in a broad sense, but like that'd be the 4th movie now we've had in the last few weeks where it went with woke ass marketing and you had people talking all this woke bullshit to the press, and the movie itself, I saw it nowhere. In fact, if anything, I would say there was less woke shit in this one than the first movie, because you had all the shit between the teenagers in the first movie.
Yep.
That's the parts where I checked out. I'm like, oh, especially the school bits and all that shit. Like here, there was nothing of that. Like, I mean, I thought it was pretty straightforward in this time. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this feels like the middle part. Like, I get it. It's not a movie on its own. It feels like I'm seeing season 2 of the Halloween streaming series. It's just like, Cobra Kai in a sense. That's what I feel like I'm watching, right? That's where I've gotten. And I'm not saying that in a bad way either.
How would comparing Halloween to Cobra Kai be a bad thing?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying it's not a bad thing.
Oh, Michael should learn karate.
But
yeah, he kind of did at the end of this movie. He was like, "Fuck,
he had to."
Like, oh my god, he cut off that guy's arm at the end. Ah! I was like, this would be great.
Defensive fucking offense moves there. He's like,
Also that did remind me a little bit of Part 8, Friday the 13th, where he lets that kid have at it. It's like, all right, do whatever you're going to.
Okay, all right, Fishes. I understand what you're saying. Taking her power back. Okay, I get what you mean. All right,
and that's fine with me. Like, I didn't have a problem.
It makes
with any
sense
of that
for the
shit.
character.
Because it does, especially when she realizes, because somebody's gonna have to tell her, like her granddaughter, between now and then, that Michael don't give a shit about you, Granny. And that's where I think that's where the next part's she's gonna go Sarah Connor on fucking Mike's ass because he killed her daughter, first of all, and then second of all, you've got this whole like, she's really coming to terms with this whole thing. She's gonna have to, because that's what I said was missing from the last movie was Michael don't give a shit about her. It's not about her. That's what they needed to convince me, and they didn't. This time they did. So I'll give them that.
Yeah. The thing you also have to realize, by the end of this movie, only Laurie and Michael, they're the only 2 OG characters left.
No,
except that Lindsay.
They're shot in the next sheriff.
Sheriff, except for Sheriff.
Oh yeah, they killed the nurse again in this movie.
No. No, they killed Sheriff. No, that's right. He killed Sheriff
They killed
Brackett.
Brackett.
Bracket's gone.
He slit his
Yeah,
throat.
Bracket's gone.
Because as soon as
they
Michael
killed the
pulled out,
nurse.
because as soon as Michael pulled out the knife out of his back, he slashed Brackett's throat. That was beautiful. How
Well,
he
that's
came
what pissed
around
me off
and
about the.
slashed his throat, and then he went for the guy's Achilles and cut his little Achilles tendon on the bottom of his ankle, and then stabbed him in the
Oh.
throat,
Mini
and then he went around and he just fucking went. It
That's what I'm
was
saying.
like
He's like Bruce Lee on their ass, man.
Now,
He's just like.
can I ask another question? In the scene in the car with the nurse when he was on top of the vehicle,
Great
I
callback.
don't feel like
Yeah, I
she
like that
shot 6 shots out of that revolver. She may have, but
Maybe
She
it's
shot
making up
one-
for.
she shot
I
one at
don't
the
know if
back window.
Maybe
She
she didn't have it
shot.
loaded.
No,
One in
she shot one at the back window. She shot
she
another
shot the
one.
mask off.
She shot the mask, and then she shot at the other back window. So that's 3. And then she
Mhm.
shot another one at the front
Up.
window, and then she shot up. So that was 5. And then her last one, I think, was like a backfire or whatever, or was like a
Yeah, see,
misfire
there
or
wasn't
something.
6
No,
shots.
she
out of
shot
that
out the
gun.
window once, but missed him. I thought.
Yeah, she shot out the window and missed him once, and then she shot the back window out, and then
Yep,
she
front
blew out
window
the side
and
window,
ceiling.
and then she.
You know what'd be funny is if it is only 5 shots and they're making up for that extra shot that Loomis got in that one movie. 'Cause
Probably.
remember, he shoots 7 times instead of 6.
Yep,
Yeah.
there you go. Mirroring, just like it turned out that Michael was looking in the mirror the whole time,
And
and
I,
she gets killed because she's looking in the
Oh,
mirror
look
when
at
she
that.
sees him.
And
Saggy
Michael,
Melons is a member.
you ever notice
Hey,
Michael has always
Saggy.
got an infatuation with rooftops of cars? You know, so-
Somebody's got to get Saggy a
He
push up or
does.
something. Let's fix that.
Yeah.
Saggy's great. I love you.
Yeah, she's got a minimum effort puppy, which is Mike's favorite one.
Oh, please. Show the little puppy again.
Where is he at here? I gotta find him.
Oh.
I got too many videos in here. I should clean this out a little bit.
Aw.
There you go. There's your minimum effort puppy. Thank you for becoming a member, Saggy.
I love his little friend smiling at the
Yeah, he's like, when's my turn?
It's like,
Yeah.
it's
I'm
my
gonna give
turn.
this some maximum effort.
If I could address a couple of things in the chat
Please.
real quick, Tom. First off, to Monkey Jeebus. Yeah, I was thinking of Buster Scruggs in that scene as well, because the same thing happens to Clancy Brown. Only they did that with the table.
Wait, Clancy Brown was in this movie?
No,
the
I'm-
movie
no,
Buster.
No, and I'm
Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
I gotta go
Oh.
see this now. I don't know this.
Yeah,
movie.
that's Coen
I
Brothers.
love
movie,
Clancy
ain't
Brown, man.
I love Mr. Krabs too.
Old boyo.
And there was also another comment a little farther back that I'm not sure I quite understand. Infected Goat 777. If you could in the chat explain what you meant about the BLM riots, because I'm not quite sure I get
probably when the
where
town
you're going
went
with that.
nuts. But this movie
Yeah.
was shot
Oh.
before that, actually.
I can
That's
see
talking
how
about the
Find that
woke shit.
parallel.
I can see
I
how
don't buy
some motherfuckers think that's probably woke. Like, oh, it's BLM, right? No,
You got to remember
no,
this was shot
no.
before then, actually.
No, this was
This-
a posse callback.
this
to
was
Roundtable.
legit-
No. I mean, you know,
This
you
was
have to think
legit
of the
a
context
town
of the
that's been-
story.
You
know,
have to legit think. Don't think politics. Don't think of politics in this bullshit.
you
Okay,
can't.
especially when you got.
I mean,
okay,
come on, they made a
I-
retarded guy jump out of
okay.
a window. Was that not good
I
enough
mean,
for you people?
okay, I get that.
Yeah,
whole
that's
scene.
some woke
hold
shit
on,
right
hold on.
there.
That's
hold
woke
on.
as fuck.
All right, let
Can I,
Chef
can, I,
explain.
can, I,
here.
can, I,
Yeah,
can
yeah.
I get a can I get a word in?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So if you break down that specific scene and you take out the fucking politics, yes, you can see the politics in it of, yes, you have people on the fucking ambulances rocking the fuck out of it. Yes, we've seen it all on fucking TV before. Yes, we've seen the riots of people running up and down. But you have to take the politics out of this because why? It's a fucking movie. This town has been terrorized for over 43 years or what, over one guy on one fucking night. So
Well, you don't-
Well,
when
even
you watch,
beside that-
Yeah.
so when you watch this movie, take the fucking politics out of it and enjoy that fucking scene because that scene says a lot about that fucking town
and how
Yeah.
stupid they
and
are.
what the fuck they're really
Well,
going through
quick-
at
and that's
that
what I was
end.
saying. How
And how
yeah.
quickly one little spark, one little thing can happen and just boom.
Well, and I was going to say this, like, it doesn't even matter because this was all shot way before that. This was shot before COVID hit.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
If
Yeah.
if
Plus,
I had any,
that scene also shows how when there's certain people that are trying to go against a group mentality, it's so hard to get them to stop when they're heated.
What were you going to say, Steven? Sorry.
it's just if I had any real issue with the whole mob mentality situation, I think if nothing else, it happens a little too fast. I mean, I'm not saying that it hasn't been pent up for 43 years.
Like
But
how
what
they all
I'm-
rallied
You're right,
together
though.
really
You're
quick.
totally right.
Like at
Yes
the
and
hospital, how they
no.
rallied too
Wait.
quick.
They
Yes,
go
because they were like, okay, let's roll on this guy. Like,
yeah, they go from like 0 to like the last 10 minutes of shivers, like fucking that.
They
know?
do, but they've done
True.
it before in all the other movies, and you got to stop and think though. Like, this is a small town, and I come from a small town, and I'll tell you right now, if something like this happened in a small town, you would have the entire town posse up like that real fucking quick.
Well, hold on a
And
second. Hold on
they-
a second. We're forgetting one very key important moment when they showed the faces of the two escapees from the mental institution, one of which was Michael
that
Myers.
bugged the
which
fuck
was,
out of me too.
Yeah, and the other one was the other guy. And I guess everyone saw the first guy, but they didn't
They
even
weren't paying
show.
attention.
Yeah,
weren't paying
yeah,
attention
they
to
were
that.
so stupid. They saw
That's
it. They
the
were
whole
fixated
point.
on
They
the
were just
first guy so much that
Yeah, but
these idiot townspeople decided, oh my god, that's the guy, and they're like, oh, it's the guy in the television. Like that's how
Well,
stupid
all these people were-
these hadn't.
But yeah,
people
yeah.
are.
But then when the couple gets in the car and they go, Michael Myers is in the car, I'm like, I bet you it's the other
Well,
guy.
you can tell, yeah.
Yeah, but all these people were at the hospital.
Yeah.
They weren't.
The shape of him looked kind of like penguin-esque
And he
because I
wasn't
always
wearing a
considered him
mask.
to be the penguin, and he wasn't wearing a mask.
All these people were at the
So-
hospital though. They weren't watching TV. They didn't see the image of the.
No, yeah, and by the
Yeah.
time
They didn't
the
see
image of
TV.
Michael came on, they made a point that
Sure.
everybody was already starting to kind of rabble or whatever in the bar. So
And then-
they even zoom away, so he's out of focus, not just for us, but like everybody else is already not paying attention to him. I think
Yep.
was more of
And
the
then
point.
you're going to have some people that just wouldn't care if it was Michael or not.
Exactly, yeah, they just saw it
in the moment.
They saw like the
I don't care
name
if
of
you're guilty or
whoever,
not, I'm
and they
gonna
saw
shoot
it, and they
somebody.
saw. You would think they would say Michael Myers, the guy who's
But
fucking killing people.
they didn't
like
know.
They would show it
Justin,
first, and that's
you got to remember,
They didn't
like,
know.
They didn't know.
They didn't. There's two things they're going off of here.
Oh,
All they
yeah, in
know
the
is what
hospital,
was
yeah.
on the news, which was a lot of those people were just for the first time. Like that was why they showed that one couple, which are actually in the first movie, which is cool. Which I said
Yeah.
was a nice little callback.
Yep.
Is you see them leaving for the party as Michael's on the street, and then they just are now seeing on the news what the fuck just happened on their street in the
Yep.
last movie.
Because when Tommy sees the news report, he
Yeah.
assumes it's Michael Myers right away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they don't. Because the news doesn't know who the two escape patients.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job of setting that all up, and that's what I liked about this, and that's where Snow's right. I think is even though the first movie does kind of take place throughout the entire day up until the night, and then it kind of becomes almost in real time. This movie is almost in real time because like we go back in time a little bit for that first 15-20 minutes, like we were saying.
Which
besides
which
the
is good
flashback,
because
yeah.
it does set it up, that night. I did like that, how it did set up that night.
And there's a lot of great nods to the
And-
original film.
Which I did.
Yeah.
I did like that little homage, and then we jump forward to, boom, we're right where we left off. It's like, oh, okay,
This
here we
movie
go.
actually made me want to go back and watch the original film again. Even though I've watched it 100 times, I was like, man, I need to go back and watch.
I
the
just watched it
original.
last night.
Yeah, just to kind of get the the feeling of what's going on with these kids that were the babysitted kids and stuff like that, and kind of patch these things together because you can really tell it's an homage and it's definitely a love to the series. Somebody loves this character, loves these characters, and loves this franchise, and is really trying to put together a good story for us. And I'm kind of eager to see how it plays out. This, like I said, this is a bridge
Yeah.
movie.
And
I
that's
did
what
like
kind
how
of
the
helped me,
old
Snow.
couple did get killed though, because that was awesome. I mean, I did like how you had the old lady playing with the drone, and then I love that scene, dude. And then it's like he like
That
throws
great.
the drone like right, and he's all, "The fuck was that?"
Well, what I loved about that is, you know damn well that one of the writers, like, they walked into their parents' house one day and they were playing with a fucking drone. That's where they got the
Well,
idea for that,
I
right?
love
Like,
that.
Well, it's
Right, but I love that
certainly wasn't
comedic
Danny
scene.
McBride because I can tell when he writes a scene.
you
Like,
just
I
don't like
love,
Danny McBride.
Like,
I
I
guess.
love that scene.
He's
between
funny
the
as
two of
fuck.
I
them.
like
care.
Danny, so
Like that scene
I
was
like
so
Danny,
well
but-
written, and it was so well acted between those two actors, because it was just like
that's
cute
why I
little
like
old
the peanut
couple.
butter on the dick scene in the first
You know, it's
one.
like cute
No,
little
that's
old
why I
couples
hated
and
it.
shit. They hear some weird shit, and he's like, "Somebody's in our house. What do we do? Fucking call the cops!" And she's all backing the fuck up with a bottle of wine.
Well,
and
both
shit.
of them are
If
actually
you see the
comedians. You brought that
door-
up, Mike.
If you see a door open, go out the door that you know he came in. That's the least likely place for him to be right now.
Seeing like those two cops in the first movie that are sitting down the road, I think they're comedians as well. And that's the thing I think Danny brought to the table. And also the director traditionally has directed only comedies too.
Because I
And
did
I'm
like
Sean and Little
seeing,
John
I
were
did like
comedians,
seeing the
too.
little, I did like seeing the little black kid being interviewed on TV.
Yeah.
You know,
That was
Oh,
funny because he was one of my
and-
favorite characters in the first movie.
you know,
too.
and then you got the black
worst
couple,
part of the first
then I like-
movie.
and then I like
Oh.
the black couple that go, "Hey, it's that annoying ass little kid from across the street." It's like,
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that was funny. That was funny.
that was good.
Expecting
That was
to be
good.
their kid. I was expecting that to be their kid.
that's what
You
I
know, that's
thought. I was
true.
like,
I didn't
oh,
even
I was
think
like,
of
You
that.
thought it
maybe
was going to be
that's
their
I don't know why
kid.
they
How
didn't do
dare
that.
you, Mike? How dare you assume?
Eh, probably not to make it
Well, that would have
stereotypical.
been a good nod. Going, oh, that's
That
right.
would've
the
made
parents were
sense why
supposed
they
to
would
be
have
out
done
at
that.
a
Hey,
party.
that's our street.
That's
They're
our
thinking, hey,
street.
that's
That's our
Oh, that's our
fucking
neighbor's
house.
house. And I was like,
Oh,
oh,
that's the asshole kid from across the street.
Right, and then he's like, "That's the
That was a
asshole
good
kid from
tour.
across the street."
I
I was like, "That's
It,
good."
it would have fit
That's
way
good.
better though if.
But if they would have been like,
holy,
"Holy shit, that's our son," I would have been like, "Holy shit, that's your kid." Your well,
It would
babysitter's
have made
dead.
you. It would have
You
made
ain't
it
gotta
worse.
pay
when
her.
It would have made it worse when they killed him though, because then you'd be like, oh, they just orphaned that fucking kid.
But that makes him a character for the future.
Yep,
True, but
and
still.
a damn good one at that. Because
Yeah, like in
he
20 years
beats
they
the
could
fuck
dust
out.
him off and bring him back.
I do like
really,
him.
I really hope they bring back that kid and he gets fucking murdered. That would
Nah.
be amazing. That would be
Nah.
great. That would be amazing. I would love the movie so much more. Halloween Ends.
No, man, I love
Please.
that scene with him and his
No,
babysitter.
no.
I love that
Pretty
whole
rare
scene.
they kill off kids in horror movies.
Yeah, very, very rare.
I
They even
know,
showed. They even
but-
made sure to show that
but-
Michael won't kill kids, and he ain't gonna be that much older by the next.
Well, I
day.
did like how like
No,
he's
that's not
little-
true. He will be a teenager by the next one. You're
He'll
right.
be the
Because
same age as that
Well,
one
if he's a
kid
teenager.
was the gay kid in the Halloween 2018.
Because I did like those two
And his
girls
pickup
like swinging
truck.
on the swings, and they're like, you know, we're playing hide and go seek. We think he's a pervert, and I'm like, really? You got Michael Myers just randomly just standing there, and you guys are just swinging on some swing sets, just playing peek hide and go seek with this guy. Right on, right on.
They were old enough. See, those
I
were
know.
the teenage kids. Like they were.
Right.
That's
Well,
why it's
after
kind
had their head cut off.
Or high
Yeah,
or something.
and then I like how they're like I like how they see like Homeboy's mask and like, is that so and so's mask? It's like, yeah, he's dead.
Because that actually reminds me of a problem I had with the first one because it reminded me again when I was watching it tonight, and that's that scene where the dad and the kid are on the going on their way to the hunting trip, and the dad's like that's more like the kid's grandpa. I'm like that scene feels like this was written
Weird.
for it was written for like a dad like the old guy's age, and then like a dad like or like the dad would be like the age he's supposed to be, but then the kid was supposed to be like in his late 20s or 30s, and he's just like, you know, you don't have to keep doing this kind of stuff, dad, kind of thing. It would have made more sense because like I felt like that kid was way too young for Michael to be killing.
I'd rather be a
Well, I'm
dance
thinking
class.
that's like a producer's nephew or some shit like that, and that's the only place they could stick him or some shit. I'm like, that is
Right.
one of the most miscast roles.
I love that
in that
kid.
first
He's
movie.
all, I'd rather be a dance class. I like to dance.
Exactly, that whole thing, like it's written like it was meant for somebody else. That's my point. Is that kid is completely
It
not
was-
right for that.
It was
role.
written for a gay kid. I want to dance.
Exactly. It was like it should have been like some guy in his 20s who's like clearly gay and dad doesn't get it. Like that's the joke I think they were trying to do. But I don't know if Mike agrees with me that something might have happened on the day and whoever was supposed to be there didn't show up, so they threw like somebody's kid in there or some shit.
Well,
Probably.
Because he does not fit the role,
It's
and
an
it
odd
feels out of
scene.
place, and it's
Eh,
like it would play better if it was like a guy in his 20s who was like obviously flaming fucking gay, and his dad is forcing him to go on on
Well, that's
a
you.
hunting trip, that I would understand as being funny, right?
No,
Like,
no,
Right, that would've been
that wouldn't make
hilarious.
as much sense though.
no, it
because
would
if
make
it's a
complete sense with the
no, it
scene.
wouldn't. No. With that scene in particular, it makes sense that the kid is a teenager because
He's not though. He's like 10. That's
he's
the
like 9 or
fucking
10 years
problem.
Yeah,
old
he's
now.
like
Hey,
10
hey,
years
now,
old.
now
Yeah.
that we've
No,
been
no, no,
talking
no,
about
he's
this
not
movie
10, he's
longer
not
than the
10,
movie, I
he's
rest
like-
my case that it's a good movie because
you
otherwise
go.
this
He's a young
conversation
kid.
would have been over an hour ago.
You're right, Jesse.
Yeah, he would have just said, yeah, Dad, I'm gay, you fucking idiot.
Well, that's the whole point of I'd rather be at dance class. Like that's
So I'd rather
I
be
get-
at dance class than
I get
doing
the
this.
scene, but it feels like they miscasted that role because like
miscast, yes, but maybe with a different actor who was around 14,
Well,
that would have made
No, they should have
sense.
had. No, they should have had Little John in the truck.
Exactly. Actually, Big John would have been
Or
no,
Big
like that's-
Yeah, for real. Like he kept calling him Big John. I'm like, why is he keep
I
calling
love
this
it.
dude Big John? Why is he?
I
They're at
get
home
it.
alone. Just call him John.
Their names
Nope.
are both John.
That's
They're
what's
both
funny
named
about
Big
it.
John.
Little John.
See, I
When
kind of
you're-
like that.
But
I
when
don't
there's
know.
only two of you there, you're
It's
you're
just
not going
the-
to
it's-
call yourself
It's
John.
it's a funny character
Cute.
moment.
It was.
Yeah.
It's a
I'll
sort of
explain. I'll,
Thing.
I'll explain it to you.
Sort of
Later.
affection.
Well, obviously, we know which one has the bigger dick.
Right,
Yeah,
Big
Yeah,
John.
yeah.
That's the
no
joke.
surprise there.
And he's
yeah.
flashing it throughout the whole fucking movie. It's so hard to avoid in some scenes.
As he's
It's like
smoking a
flopping
joint,
around.
as he's smoking a joint,
Yeah.
waving his dick around like,
Yeah, exactly.
"Eh."
Well, also, it shows that the different kind of gay people that exist is one is more masculine.
Right.
It's like whoever's the gayer one, that's the wife.
Now,
That's,
they were
that's-
very
and you-
stereotypical with the gay couple though, because
'Cause when they
did
grabbed
have
the
by
knife-
far the nicest house.
Yeah,
Well,
they
that's
did.
what
And
I
you
said.
know-
Jesse,
They
The
go
gay
ahead, Mike,
couple was
sorry.
probably the only ones that could
Did you
afford that
notice-
house
they-
anyway.
hey,
Two
they
male
redid that.
incomes.
That was a
Well, they
beautiful.
saved a lot
uh,
of money because it's a
Yeah.
murder house.
Well, yeah,
Because
I was
the-
gonna say they did a really nice
yeah.
redecorating job. They,
They
they
did.
That's
did-
what I said.
I
I'm
actually
watching this
like
go.
that.
I swear to God, I need to get some gay guys in here to.
No, I was
decorate
like
this place.
they
Like,
did
let
a
me
great
explain.
job on
TV.
that
Let me
chiropractor
explain because
place.
that shit is legit, and that's why
Yeah.
I texted you that, Jesse, when I saw that in the movie, because I'm like, that is such a small town fucking thing. Like,
Yeah.
it is such a. It happens in every town around here. Like, you have this old house that nobody wants to move into because somebody either got murdered in there or it's got
Right.
some kind of history to it,
I don't
And
think that'd be
every-
the case with the Myers house, though.
and it
Then
never
a couple
fucking
of guys from the
fails.
city swoop in and they're like,
Exactly.
"Score!"
Finally,
Yep.
you know,
Oh, I-
after like 10 years, two gay guys come in, fix that fucking place up, and it's the best place in town.
And it's so fabulous. It's so fabulous. It actually looks really
Fabulous.
good.
I think the opposite. I think that
I
house
love
You know
was
how
really
you know how you know they were really gay because their curtains went from well above the window down to the floor without touching them. They had
That
very
is
nice
true.
curtains,
What
and
were you
I
saying,
only
Mike?
know that from watching a YouTube video with another fella who may have been a little.
And I was
like
gonna say,
loafers.
and that's how my curtains are hung in my house.
You
Anyways,
got taste.
Mike, you were about to say something. Sorry.
Hey, that's how
I'm
my
gonna say, I
parents
think the
do it.
opposite.
Wait,
I think the
what?
opposite because I think that house would have been really expensive, and then it takes two male incomes to purchase that house. That's why the gay couples live in there.
You would be right, except for it was like trashed by the first film. It was even trashed then, and that was.
But
the
I
thing
mean,
is they couldn't sell it. Yeah,
did you see
No,
the
but the
kitchen?
notoriety of the
Like
house,
they
though.
redid
The
like
notoriety would
that
drive it.
kitchen.
now possibly.
That kitchen was beautiful. And did you notice they didn't have any hanging fucking knives? They got smart.
Yeah.
Like
They've
that's
seen
so
some horror
what
movies.
I'm sorry, that is the one critique I have in a horror movie. You don't have your knives hanging on a wall in your kitchen.
Yeah, one of
Where
them,
it's easy
one of them pulls
access.
off and Danny DeVito is
Chucky
visiting.
loves
Hey
Now-
guys, and then
now
it just like
we all
comes into
saw-
his head. Like, no.
If you saw the movie tonight, you all saw what Michael Myers did with those knives hanging on a wall. He just grabbed that shit real quick and stuck it in an old man's back. Was like, nope, not
That's
sharp
why
enough.
that's my favorite scene. That's why
Like-
that's my favorite kill in the
It-
movie.
it-
The
it
guy
was-
I
tries
did.
out
I
each
absolutely
night.
loved it because I was like, dude, this guy does what every chef does, going testing out knives, going, nope, not sharp enough. Nope.
And when he
Nope.
does leave,
Perfect.
he leaves her still slightly breathing.
Yeah, she's
And
still
you know
yeah.
there's no way she could
Just
live
to,
through that.
no.
that's a new
That
thing
was
for
sick.
Michael. Maybe is that he leaves his one of his victims
I thought she stopped breathing like right in the
dying.
final.
Oh,
No,
dying.
she was still she was slowly still breathing when he left. Like you
Oh,
can hear her
yeah.
Just like
gurgling.
the firefighter.
But he
in
stabbed
the
her through the
beginning,
trachea,
in the very
the
beginning, the
esophagus, the
firefighter
jugular.
watching all of his brothers die. Then you have the wife watching her husband get stabbed,
Justin,
stabbed
I would say
again.
if anything, and that's what I liked about this one was it went a little bit more realistic with the kills, because like
Yeah.
usually in the first movie you don't really see much of anything, and it cuts away for a while, and he does his little fancy thing to set
not
everybody
this
up.
one.
In this one, no, they loom on it and they show you like, yeah, most of the time it takes a little while to die from some of this shit. You don't just die right away, right? And
Oh yeah,
that's-
because he did a number on the old man. Then before he does the whole knife, he did a number on that guy. Then he goes cuts back to him after a wife, and it's like, Jesus, he's still alive.
That's what I said. I looked at him. I was like, "Oh my god, he's still
Jesus.
alive." I was
We
like, "This
did.
poor son of a bitch."
Then he just drags him, and it's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
he ain't done.
Actually,
would've
we
been
already
like-
talked about it, Big Vic.
See,
but
I would have
yeah.
been like, "Where's my gun? I'm gonna blow my brains out before he even
Right.
finishes his fucking job."
Big Vic. Yeah, we did talk about.
We did
Dr.
mention a little
Loomis.
earlier, but yeah, it was
I thought it was
amazing.
I thought it was amazing CGI work.
It was
on that.
outstanding. I love that part.
It was.
It almost looks like an age regression more than
yeah.
a
It was really good. It was really good.
Really
it was
clean.
fantastic.
I actually
think
watched
some of
it twice because I had to make sure that. Because at first I thought they had the scar on there, but it was just digitization on my fucking TV because of the shitty streaming quality.
But yeah, that was one of the best things about the movie was seeing Dr. Loomis. And another great thing that I loved about this movie, well, first off, if they had gotten Paul Rudd for this, if he wasn't too busy filming Ghostbusters, oh my God, could he have done a great Tommy?
No,
But Anthony
I didn't like him
Michael
as Tommy.
Hall,
Yeah, no, he
Last time.
couldn't. He
I
proved this.
loved Anthony Michael Hall in this movie. It's
He
the
did
best
great,
movie
and I'm
he-
pissed that
Anthony
he,
Michael Hall
that
was
takes
good.
me back. Oh, that was the thing I didn't get to say before I got cut off. That was one of the kills that pissed me. I wish Tommy would have lived to both. First of all, because he does have a little bit of the realization, but to stick with that, fuck, I went a little overboard.
It's not
but
too late. It's not.
But
too
it's
late.
not too late yet. And then I love that bit where he talks to Lori and he goes, 40 years ago, you protected me. Now let me protect you. That was the bit I like because
I
that
did
was
like that.
Yeah,
I did
because
like that.
now that's where
nod.
I knew this movie wasn't woke because you got a white man telling this woman, he's going to protect her, and she was cool with it, and he was out
Yeah,
there.
she was like, "Go find him."
Yeah, she's like, "Go get his ass," right? Like, yeah, like.
Was
So
I
like that
the
part
only
I
one?
like, but then with sex, oh shit, he's dead. It's like fuck. I would have loved to have because they let Lindsay live. It's like that's where I thought okay, I thought they would have set it up with those two living, and then you had those three together at the end going after his ass. That to me would have been.
I just didn't
the
like
better
how
thing,
Tommy
yeah.
got out though when he just had the bat up in the air and how Michael just kind of just took that cheap shot. in the
Maybe
gut.
he's
I was
still
like,
alive.
Really?
Remember?
No, his head exploded like a fucking
no.
Oh,
watermelon.
it did, didn't it? Yeah.
No,
that's
he
right.
took
about
he
the
took
sack
that
of brick?
baseball bat and went to work on that.
Might as well have been at a
he's
Gallagher
fucking dead.
show.
What about
Yeah,
the
he
sack
was
of
gone.
bricks? That was a pretty
See, the-
genius idea. Grabbing the
Yeah,
pillow
the sack of bricks was good. That was good.
I kept thinking that was Demi Moore the entire movie. I was like, "Is that Demi Moore?" I kept looking
no,
at it.
believe it or
No,
not,
no,
grab the bag.
that
I
had
really,
to have been
really
Judd
thought
Nelson.
she was going
Wait,
to try
no,
to piece
that
together
was
a clown
RDJ.
costume
That
and
was
try to
RDJ
get
See,
his
right there.
ass.
I'm going to go back to the reason for the town being so wrought up so quick is I think Tommy's somewhat of a local legend and looked up
Right.
to by a lot of people in the town.
Probably.
So when he's the first one that goes right away, and he's like, "We got to get this fucker,"
Yeah.
and then he starts buying into his own hype when he tells Lori, "I'm going to protect you now."
Well, you
So
saw him when he
that's-
left
that
the
was all
bar,
good.
how he like grabbed the bat all quick, and then you saw how everybody just left the bar with him, like "fuck yeah, let's go." And
Yeah,
it's
Yeah,
which
like,
that's
is
true.
places in part
And
four
Lonnie's
where
the
it's
same
the
thing.
bartender who gets the posse together.
And that's what I love
Yeah.
too about the whole thing with like Lonnie because they talk about him in the first movie.
Yep.
He's the kid that Tommy's talking about the whole time when he's like, Lonnie says this and Lonnie says that, and she's like, yeah, Lonnie's an idiot. Like,
Yeah, that's true. And then Lonnie, get your ass out of here.
yep, that's him there too. Yep.
Yep.
No,
Do you
that
think that
I'm so happy that they made Lonnie an actual character in this movie, and I did not.
That's what I
remember...
liked better about this one is they did a much better job with the characterization. Sorry, Justin, go ahead, man. My bad.
Oh no, I didn't remember that. Was Lonnie even mentioned in 2018?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because he's
Yeah.
what's his face's
Yeah, but
I
They
didn't
bother,
didn't remember that.
did they even
so-
mention that in 2018? That
Yeah.
it's his dad?
Yeah, they did because they're sitting
Yeah.
at the table and he's like, I used to
Yeah.
get fucked up with your dad on peyote.
Peyote.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then you hear the reverse
That
of
was
that
in this
story in the
movie.
car.
That was
he
in
tells
this
the other
movie.
side
And
of the
then he
story.
tells the other side of the story. He's like, your dad. He's
Was
like,
the one
your
who
dad
sold it
used to
to
sell
me.
me
They said
peyote.
it the other
And
way
he's all,
around.
I got hired.
Oh,
And he's like, and I
okay.
tripped out his balls. He's like, your dad tripped out his balls and his tripped
I
down
made
to
the
his
mistake of
underwear.
That's
not-
what I loved
I,
about this.
I
is
made
there
the
was
Because
all
that's
mistake
what I
of
like
not
to
watching
see.
2018.
Yeah, because the first one, the first
second
scene they were at dinner when Allison got her valedictorian, and he was telling him, he's like, yeah, your dad sold me peyote, blah 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 blah. He was tripping balls, and then you fast forward to this one, and he flipped the script where his dad's telling him, yeah, I sold you. It's like your dad sold me, and I'm like, wow. I said, okay.
That's
I said, I
typical.
like
Did they,
that.
Well,
I
let's
said,
be
did they mention in
honest.
typical
2018
dad.
that it's Lonnie, though?
In a small
I don't know if
town,
they
you
mentioned
sell
the
each other
name, but I
drugs
think
all the
they
time.
No, he did say
Did he
say
say? I think
Lonnie.
they said. I'm trying to remember because I think he did say, "Yeah, your dad Lonnie and I."
Yeah,
used
he's
to
like, your
hang
dad
out back
Lonnie.
in the day
Yeah,
or something like
Like,
that.
yeah, your dad Lonnie and I used to hang out way back in the day. He's like, he used to sell me peyote.
It's been
And
a
he's
couple
like,
years since I've
what?
seen 2018.
He's
so-
like, yeah, he's like, we were tripping balls one time out in
Yeah,
the desert.
no,
He's
that's
like,
why I caught some of this stuff because I just watched it again and I was like, I'm
because
glad
that's
I
why I
did.
like, because
Yeah.
like Cameron
You
started
know-
like repeating what Allison's dad was saying. He's like, oh, tripping balls.
They
Oh,
had
and
to
then,
include all these
and then that's when
callbacks and
Lori
characters,
came.
though, because Lori's not in the movie, really.
Yeah, because that's when Lori
Yeah.
came in and she like slammed that glass of wine and she was like, I saw him and
No, that was a different scene. But yeah, it's in
Yeah.
the first movie. Oh no, that is that scene. You're right.
Yeah, it is that scene because like right after she said that, she came right in and they were like, "Oh, how'd it go?" And she slams that glass of wine and she was like, "I saw that motherfucker." Oh, it's like, okay, here we go.
But
Do
yeah,
you think that the boyfriend wearing a dress was just foreshadowing that he was going to go out like a bitch?
I
thought
I've been saving that for an hour and a half. Just
I think that was a
I
badly
literally
thought
enjoyed it.
out plan. Like
Honestly,
that's just one of those things that writers
That was
don't
great.
think
That
about.
was perfect.
it's one of those moments where it's like
True,
you should have
though.
had
Yeah,
had a black.
true,
You
though.
should.
Yeah,
It's true though. You should have had a backpack with some fucking pants or some shorts to change it to. Like,
He's like, oh my god, I can't run from Michael in these heels.
but
That's
you
what I'm
notice.
saying, yeah.
But you notice he was able to change into like some sneakers.
Well, that's what
Like
I'm
his
saying.
tennis
He
shoes.
has,
He had
It
his
looked like
tennis
he put a
shoes.
windbreaker on or something.
Yeah, and a sweatshirt.
well,
like
he's
his
got
dad's
some
on
on
a dress.
underneath,
But he couldn't change his fucking pants. Like he was like,
or
this is
just take
free.
it off because,
Dude.
like, I think he has like leggings or
No,
something. He's got something
no.
underneath. I
Let's
thought.
be honest. It felt good to him, and we were witnessing a change.
Well,
and
like
Michael
he's
was
trying to
like,
run in that
"No,
one
sir."
scene, and it's like, no, that ain't working so well.
Yeah.
It's just like I can run so much faster with my balls hanging out.
Right? And I mean, how he got over the fence without, damaging some shit. Anyways,
all I will say is, Jesse, this adds a whole new meaning to Run Bitch Run Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Very much so. Well, I don't want to drag this out too much longer, but there is so much more we can talk about with this movie. That's the beauty of it. Like you said, Jesse, is here we are, well over how long the movie is, and we're still talking about it, debating it. Even those who didn't like it found things they liked about it. And, there's some nitpicks I could get into, I'm sure. But even as we're talking about it, like, there's certain things that, like, I kind of want to go back to it again almost. It's like, which
Same
doesn't happen
here.
too often anymore.
I want to as well. I'll watch this like I watched The Breakfast Club for Anthony Michael Hall and Anthony Michael Hall.
He was good at
It's
it.
so weird
Justin
that he
just-
looks so old now. Like
Justin,
my
just
whole
cut it
time
off
frame
at
is
5
screwed.
minutes till the movie ends, and you'll be happy. You'll be like, look, satisfaction.
I have a
Yeah,
suspicion I'll like it
exactly.
better with the next one.
I hope
I
so.
like, I like this one better once all three of them are done.
I hope
I
you're
do
right,
like-
and I hope it doesn't have the opposite reaction on me.
Because I
Mike,
do
yeah.
plan on watching it in the movie theater because I do want to see. I would like to see the Loomis scene on a big screen, just to see how
Same
clean
here.
it looks. You know what I mean?
If you really want to feel old, go back and watch Chevy Chase Vacation.
Oh yeah.
I've
Tom
been to
texted me
Wally
that. I'm
World.
like, that's him?
That's
I
him.
have.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
Really?
like later on, you can see it in his eyes.
Yeah,
and
he's
it's
the
like,
original
shit.
Rusty. Yeah.
Russ.
Yeah, he's the original
played
Rusty.
Russ.
Well, and this is the thing is
Oh,
they've
that's
got
him.
they've got the
Original
girl.
Yeah.
They've got the original Lindsay in this movie, but here's the funny thing: is she's kind of still been in, like, I wouldn't say acting per se, because she was on like the Real Housewives of
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
she's never really left Hollywood. so-
never really left Hollywood. But now the guy who plays the original Tommy, they couldn't even find him for H2 for some of the other movies they were trying to bring him into. Like I think H2O, they wanted to get him for cameo, and
What
same
did he
thing
do?
with.
Did he disappear off the face of the earth?
Well, what happened was he became a rabbi. I think it was.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true.
But they
That's
I
did
was gonna
find
say
him.
everybody's got a social security number.
They did
had to
find
have
him
that
for
to
some
pay him the
interview
first
stuff.
time.
So there is like stuff out there with him in it, like, and there's like there's a lot of
He
footage of
became
him.
a rabbi. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, Halloween. It became
I
a
think he's popped up
rabbi.
lately online.
Yeah,
That's pretty
he
great.
keeps pretty private though, outside of the few interviews he's done for Halloween. It seems like
That's
so.
great. It's like, what was your career? Well, I did Halloween, and now I'm a rabbi. Like,
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking hilarious.
Well,
But
I'm-
I do want to impose this question on the panel. How would this movie have been more impactful instead of Anthony Michael Hall? You had Paul Rudd.
What is it with you and Paul Rudd?
Paul Rudd can
I
only
love
play Paul
Paul
Rudd.
Rudd.
I do too.
Paul
I-
Rudd can
Already
only play
Ghostbusters.
Paul Rudd. That's the problem with Paul Rudd.
We got Ghostbusters coming up. Proper.
Well, no, because he was in the Curse
I
of
get
Michael
that,
Myers, one of
but-
his first movies. I like
Yeah,
how would this have
It'd be
like
too confusing.
would
that
this
was-
have
that's one of the cutout
distracted you
movies.
from the movie
Yeah.
if Paul
Yes.
Rudd
it would
was
have
in
been
it?
like,
Would
yeah,
it-
it's Ant Man. I don't want to see Ant Man.
Well,
in
not
a
just
horror
that. I
movie.
think it would be too confusing. Like if you had him in another cameo, perhaps maybe.
that
but him
he'd be
coming
trying
back
to
to
joke
play
way
Tommy-
too much.
Yeah, it just
He-
well, not just yeah.
It wouldn't have worked.
It would have.
don't
He
think
would have.
so.
But he would have tried to ad lib so many jokes. It
'Cause
was
they were
like
even
just-
trying to
Danny
work
McBride,
in.
Oh my god!
They were
yeah.
trying to work in a cameo for what's her face who played Jamie as well.
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't add her in yet. You have to add her in organically, which eliminates the original actress completely.
They do.
Well,
know, here's
that's
a
the
little
It
bit,
does.
little bit of trivia. Kylie Richards, who plays Lindsay in the film, her sister was also in another John Carpenter film,
Oh, yeah?
Precinct 13. Yeah.
Sold on
I
Precinct
didn't
13.
know that.
She's a little girl that sets the whole movie off.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, I did not know that. Daniel Harris. Thank you, Infected Goat. I couldn't remember. her
Yeah,
name.
she was
It's
in
getting late.
she was in the Witch Mountain films too for Disney.
Oh, okay.
I love Danielle Harris.
I do too, and I would have been
Yeah,
nice
so
to
do I.
kind of. I was kind of. I
She's
thought they
nice.
should have just had her play.
Lindsay,
No, but they should have had her play the
mom.
yeah, Laurie's daughter. But it would have been confusing, and that's probably why you
It
should
would
have
have
been
been
Paul Rudd.
so confusing. She already was brought back for Halloween 2007. So
And not confusing
Yeah.
for us, because us as fans, we get it, but I can get it for the standard
It-
audience. You're just like,
yeah, it
The
would've been like,
normies ain't
"Hey,
even gonna
wait,
know who the
bro,
hell
who are
she
you
is. It
in?"
don't matter.
Actually,
Yeah.
she looks a lot like she did when she was younger. She just looks grown up.
Yeah.
Like- and
She
that's
holds
a
her
funny
own in
part.
the,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Hatchet
she's actually been doing the horror rounds for years.
But okay, so you guys noticed with the retired nurse how she died in the car,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and you know how in the original she was attacked in the car.
In the car.
Yeah,
I did
Even her
kind of
positioning
find
in the car.
Exactly. Thank
It-
you.
it
Okay, I
completely
wasn't the
mirrors
only
that.
one that was thinking the same thing. The way she was even positioned in the car.
Oh no, I got it. I caught it right away. That's what I meant.
I
Like,
was like,
there's
holy
so many
shit.
callbacks. So many more.
He's like, "I
callbacks
got
in
you this
one
time,
than
bitch."
yeah.
Right?
There's
Like
a few in the first one, but there's more in this one. Yeah.
it's like 40 years ago you sleeped away, but this time I got you.
Yeah, they had to fill this movie with more characters because
I
like
mean,
said,
even
you
how
don't
they,
have Jamie Lee Curtis and
They stuffed
have that
homeboy
in
up
hospital.
in the attic. I was like, damn.
What I love is that you thought that was a gunshot.
Oh
It's
yeah,
actually him getting shut in the fucking
It's-
attic.
Yeah, I was like, damn. I was like, that sounded like a gunshot, but that was really his fucking body. I was like, oh my god.
That's
That
what I
was
loved about some of the
shit.
misdirection in this movie was kind of pretty good. Like this movie was directed much better than the last one. You can tell that I can't remember the name of the guy. I think Green is his last name. Anyway,
David
Jason
Gordon Green.
Gordon
David Gordon
Gordon
Green.
Green.
Yeah, you can tell
Oh,
he
David Gordon
he
Green.
learned
I'm
a lot.
sorry, I'm Jason, so that's.
But my
between
one
the two. Yeah.
but my other stupid cringe moment was after she took off Homeboy's mask and she was running. I did like the fact that Michael didn't give a fuck. He was like, I'm gonna go get you either with or without my mask.
yeah, and he still just walked. He's
And
like,
he
"Get back
still
here, bitch."
just
He's like,
wa-
I don't care.
yeah,
I'm gonna get you
Exactly.
eventually.
And then how she left her mask, and then of course, the lights come on and she does her stupid little fucking line like she had in the first one.
Mhm.
Gotcha. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Really? That's your best one-liner. Your daughter had a better one-liner. She had a better sentence than you. And she had a broken fucking leg.
The only thing that was missing from this movie was Tommy getting high with Lindsay, and Lindsay coughing a bunch, and him saying, "Chicks cannot hold smoke." That's what it is.
That's what it is.
I'm sorry, I had to.
That would have been funny.
That
I did
would
like
be
how
Yeah.
I did like how when Tommy
They could
was.
have fit anywhere.
I don't
that's the
think I
thing.
will ever get over the fact that this was Anthony Michael Hall's movie. It was
He did a really good job as Tommy. I was really impressed. Because even when
he seemed like a real guy.
like even when he was at the open mic,
a real person.
like even when he was at the open mic and he was like telling the story 40 years ago, like telling the story of the boogeyman. And I'm like, and I like the flashes that they had, the callbacks, the flashes as he was telling the story.
Yeah.
I knew that once he was announced as playing Tommy, I'm like, this is his only film, isn't it? He has one movie contract. God damn it. Oh man, that's what's gonna suck about the next film. No more Tommy. No.
Well, that's
more
what I was hoping
Michael
was he would
Hall.
stick
'Cause I
around and
did-
you had at least them three
They didn't-
together.
I
Yeah.
honestly thought, I was like, once like Michael stabbed him in the gut, I was like, okay, maybe he might leave him to kind of bleed out like he did, and I was
I
like,
thought he did.
other people, but then I look and then I see the baseball bat and I said, oh fuck, he's gone. I said,
Yeah, because Michael,
and I was like,
gave him those, you think you're special?
yeah, I was like, because after all, I said Tommy did beat the shit out of him right a couple minutes ago with the baseball bat, so I was like, it's fitting for Michael to go.
I don't think he's dead.
You beat me, now I beat you. Well, I
I thought the same thing
You don't
too.
think he's
and then
dead?
I'm gonna
No,
look
he's
again
dead.
here.
Look,
I-
that
I-
two
I saw-
Back.
I saw a lot of blood and brain matter coming up on that scene.
So
I
did
don't know.
I.
I
They
didn't
had
see
two
him actually
pickup trucks.
die,
I would have parked one on his ass.
just like I didn't see the actual
Yeah.
daughter.
Front
Let
tire
me-
on your chest.
Let me take quick look at the end.
Yeah,
I still think the daughter actually could be still alive too. We don't
That's
know.
true.
I did not technically see the body drop, and so and they brought the officer back.
Oh no, they have a shot where
neck.
she's dead.
I thought he was dead. in
yeah,
the
she's
last
dead.
movie.
She wasn't breathing.
We
Yeah,
thought
there's
the
a shot where
officer was
she's
dead in
dead.
the last movie too, with a syringe.
Oh
to
my
the
god,
neck.
I really thought he was dead until he woke up. I was like, oh thank God.
That's true, but I don't think they do that with the daughter character.
Maybe not the daughter,
dead.
but
Yeah, if
definitely
she
Tom.
turns out to be alive, I'm like,
Big
you got
Tom's
3
alive.
wounded bitches. 3 wounded
bring it
bitches.
back.
Can't do it.
Michael Anthony Hall is going to team up with Laurie Strode. Kick some
Oh,
ass.
Michael Anthony. Oh, you got the Van Halen guy mixed up.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I
Anthony
think the Tommy
Michael
character is
Hall. It's not Michael Anthony like Van Halen.
Oh shit, my bad. Sorry.
No, it's
I
okay.
think
I
Three
get
names.
those two mixed up all the time.
Okay,
think
I'm
Tommy's
watching it right
dead.
now. He gets one in the ribs, below the heart.
Yeah, because he got one in the ribs.
I'm watching it right now. It's taking forever, but yeah.
Yeah, he got one
Makes
in the
it last
ribs.
a little bit.
And then I think either he got stabbed again or he fell.
I thought he got hit with a bat once or something, but
Oh yeah, he does.
if it was
He gets
like
bashed in the head. That was my take of it.
let's
They don't
I'm gonna-
actually show it, but it's a lot of blood.
That's
Well,
what
the
I'm saying.
granddaughter
They don't
stabs
show it
him
any more than
3
that. They only
times.
show one hit.
Yeah, well, one hit from Michael, man. That's all you need.
No, I know, but they don't.
yeah, but he's a major character. I think he's still
It's
alive.
enough. It's open
don't
enough
think so.
that they could have misdirected us.
Mhm.
I don't think
What
so.
would have
because
See, that's why they
exploded
did
it's
it.
with
come up
We-
in the movie.
And that's why they did it, so we'd have conversations like this.
Well, he'll be all crippled in the next one. You know
Well, I
that.
thought. Well, that's the thing is, I thought
We'll be
Will
like,
Patton's
let's go
character was
get
gone, too.
Michael.
I
Is
thought
he
he
gonna
was
turn
done
out like
for.
Dewey? Is he gonna be like Dewey with a gimp?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because a lot of what
Don't
happened.
bother me when I'm trying to
face.
fuck you, my
Okay, we got to
room.
talk one at a time, guys. Okay, sorry, Mike. What were you saying?
Because a lot of what happens in this movie is Tommy's fault.
Yeah.
Because he gets the
Oh,
town
yeah.
riled up, and him getting killed by Michael at the end would be his comeuppance. So he already realized what he did was.
You're not wrong, but I just watched it. They leave it pretty ambiguous, and there's enough
They do,
time and
but-
space in there, and they cut away to where he might not even be hitting him.
Yeah, but they
like-
already did that with Sheriff. How many times are they gonna?
You're
fake
right,
the
and that's the
audience
reason
out?
why I
Yeah.
said we thought he was pretty gone too. So, what were you going to say,
Well-
Snow? You were going to say something too.
Oh, I was just quoting the movie from Scary Movie. I said, "Don't bother me while I'm vacuuming my room." That was
Oh no, not
Dewey,
the fake
yeah.
Dewey. No,
Sorry,
no. Why would
I
you?
wasn't scary movie. I didn't bring it up. I was just blurting out the joke.
No, you brought it up right now. Oh my god.
Well, Tom
Okay,
asked.
so hypothetically, so if Tommy does survive,
Then you got the original trio to fight.
That's
him
what I
again.
was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Lindsay and
yeah.
Tommy and Lori.
How can you explain
Great
that
on it.
sweet bada bing away though?
I just watched it, dude. Like he gets
Uh,
knifed once. He's laying on the ground screaming. It
Right.
cuts away to a different shot completely, and then it just shows him bring down the bat. It doesn't show who he's bringing it down on, and there's a splatter of blood, and that's it.
I honestly think it was on Tommy only because it's like an eye for an eye. You know what I mean?
Could've
It's
been.
definitely Tommy because right before the bat comes down, they show his face and his mouth goes wide, and he's like, "Oh!"
That
When
was
he
the shot
bashes his
before,
head
though.
in.
I just
Yeah.
watched it though.
Why
But
would
I
he
mean,
do that?
show the
Why would he
bat.
do
I
that
mean,
if it ain't him?
but like I said, the daughter. I mean, yeah, she's dead. I didn't see no breathing. It didn't look like no pulse. There's no pulse.
Oh no, she dead.
thank God.
Yeah,
She
that
was
bitch.
the most boring character in 2018.
We said
You know
bye,
why? You know why
Karen.
that bitch died? She's wearing a Christmas sweater on Halloween. You don't do that shit.
That and her
That's
name's
exactly
Karen.
why
Wait.
she died.
No, and her
What?
name
Is
is
that
Karen.
really a Christmas sweater? I thought it was just a shitty one.
No, she was
No.
wearing a Christmas
No.
sweater.
And her name's Karen.
No.
And her
And
name
her
is
name's
Karen.
Yeah.
Because there's
You're
still a
right.
ton of
Favor.
people around.
Very nice, Chef.
I'm watching
Another
this-
reason why
Yep.
this movie's political. Kill the fucking Karens.
They
No one
did us
likes
a favor.
Karens.
And they did us a favor. Thank you, fellas, for this.
Well,
Thank
no.
you.
I love Judy Greer. I love a lot of her work, especially in
Arrested Development, yo.
Yep. And 13 going on 30. She was great in that, I believe. But her character in this, not much to do. So what do? You kill the character off for emotional motivation for the other characters. So that was the perfect choice.
I'm just saying. They listened to us. We're like, oh, we'd like to see a Karen get killed. Boom, we got it.
Yeah,
We got it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
essentially.
the more I think about it, the more the ending does bother me that they didn't go with her stopping the town from killing Michael. Thematically, that just makes more sense.
But I
than
did like
anything
how
else.
he kind of like how she went upstairs and she kind of takes that breath in and closes her eyes and then boom, he's right behind her. I said, yeah, he snuck through the back because I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Because I said the two gay guys, he had the front door, I had upstairs, and then you had the back door. I was like,
Yeah,
so
he
probably-
snuck
I said he
in.
snuck through the back door because all the cops in the ambulance were in the front door. I said, so he went through the back door and
The gay
Boom.
guys back door and I'm sorry.
right.
Oh, so many.
Right?
That's where Big John comes in.
That is where Big John came in.
Yeah,
He said
Big
Big
John
John.
was in the front door, like, I got my shit handled. Little John's like,
He's all, I
Yeah,
love
you're
it.
right,
He's all,
Jesse. It does show his face twice in between there, but there's still enough time he could be hitting other people.
nah, he wasn't hitting. No, everybody else was
You're
dead.
probably right. You're probably right. But
he cut off
he's
the
just
one
gonna
dude's
smash his
arm. It could
face
only
like
be
a
the one dude.
watermelon.
that he
never
cut up the
underestimate
arm
how
off.
they cut these fucking movies, though. Just
Like,
remember
think
that.
about
dude.
it. Bracket, slit the throat. Boom. Next dude, Achilles tendon cut and a knife in the throat. I kind of watched.
I'm
it
just
on
saying
slow-mo to
this
see
much:
how
we
he
did
it
not
all.
see any death blows on screen when it came to Tommy. All we saw was a knife
Good.
go into his lower ribs.
Thank God.
Right.
Yeah, and when they bashed his head, it looked cool as shit. That's why they did that.
They didn't show anything as far as that goes. All we saw was blood spatter. We don't know if that's the one who he's hitting.
Yeah, I
Should
mean, they
we
could
make
bring him back in the next one as a sad,
Should we make a bet for next year when
downtrodden
this?
character.
Well, they're
Should
going
we
to
all
show
make
it.
a bet for next year when this movie
What?
comes out if he's in the cast or not?
Well, they're going to show it
I
outside.
don't think he's in the
Back
cast.
then,
dead.
you
He's
know,
not in the cast. He's
Boom,
one
he's
movie
dead.
deal.
Yeah,
they'll
he's dead.
well, in the next movie, they'll re-show the scene from an outside perspective and show that it wasn't him that got the head bashing.
That's
you
what
know?
I was thinking.
They'll take a stab wound and roll off, somewhere or something.
That's what I hope.
Then everybody
for,
will go,
but
come on!
realistically,
Well, and they
uh,
could still work with what you're saying, Mike, and then he's sitting there watching the rest of that group get slaughtered, right? Like, because that's the thing. There's a lot of people in that group, and they
Oh,
don't
it's
show.
quite good.
It's really the way it's cut because I just watched it for the third time now. And
Wait,
yeah,
are
the
you
way it's kind of
serious?
cut is kind of like between the
Yeah.
the daughter and the mother, and then cut between Laurie's speech, and it's kind of like all slow mo in the kills with him, and they keep cutting to Anthony Michael Hall on the ground, so it could very well be they're playing with us a little bit, and we see it from a completely different angle when they start the next movie. But
Yeah,
I think
wouldn't that
Mike
piss
and
you
Justin
off?
are right. Yes and no, because they played with us enough already that I didn't
Yeah.
mind Patton.
gonna
I
have
didn't
to
mind
watch
Will
it
Patton's
again.
character coming back. So
Yeah, that was like one of the best things about this movie is they brought his character back.
because I really love
He wasn't
her.
in the last movie, was he?
Huh?
Mike Patton wasn't in the. He wasn't. Well, he wasn't in the last movie.
Will
Was
Patton.
he?
Yeah,
Will
Will
Patton? Yeah,
Patton.
he was.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike Patton. Oh my God, that's a
Faith
different
No
guy.
More.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Faith No More.
No, yeah, he was in the last movie. We thought he died because the doctor we thought he slit his throat, but what all he did was stabbed him.
You
in
would
the
think a
jugular
doctor would
area.
get him right in the jugular. With
He
that,
did
you know.
get him right in the jugular, but he got lucky that
The
what's
kid
his
found him
face
so
found him
quickly.
right away. Yeah,
Cameron. Oh yeah, that
Cameron,
made his
yeah.
character a lot better.
Rest in peace, Cameron.
Yeah, Cameron. Yeah, I
He
gotta,
got the
I gotta
best kill.
say, you know,
He did.
they made his
Poor
character
dude.
a lot better. He was a dick in the first movie. He was a fucking dick.
I would have really
but then
loved
he goes in.
seeing
He's
the
like,
stubborn.
he goes in, you know, balls out literally because he's wearing a dress. None to cover that, but you know, man, you know, they did some characters so much better in this one. The ones who survived the last film, but man, the execution of the ending, you know, when they are, you know, with Jamie Lee Curtis with the voiceover and shit, it would bother me about it the most. What bothered me the most was probably when they faked us out at the end, and I'm just like, are you fucking serious? The police department didn't gun him down like as much
No,
as
he's a
they...
stealthy murderer. He's one of the top serial killers of all time.
No,
Lindsay didn't get.
He's Michael Myers.
I don't know if my anger is frustrated towards the writers for making this happen because they had to make it happen, or was it because the town is that fucking stupid? I don't know.
To depressed Jets fans comment, Lindsay didn't get spared. She successfully hid away from Michael.
Yeah,
Yes.
she was smart, especially how she hid right underneath the birch and so all he heard was water.
Yeah, he just moved on from her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
He was like, I
good.
don't know what she is. She moved on.
I
A
gave her
smart
a bad
character in a movie
prop.
that didn't have many.
No shit.
Yeah, that's true. Grimm says there was no way Michael survived that mob scene. Do you think they're going to do a more paranormal route like they did in Curse? He gets stronger when he kills. It's kind of stupid.
No,
I think she just meant that like in a
it's
Metaphorically.
metaphorical.
term. And that's the thing is there's going to be a time jump, so everybody's got more than enough time to get better. Like, because I knew, by the way, everybody was left in this movie. I'm like, there's no way they can continue this movie on the same night.
I legit
Like,
thought the
everybody's so
same
bummed
thing.
up. Like, no way.
I was like, everybody's all busted as fuck. I was like,
exactly,
Michael
including
Myers.
Michael.
Michael's gonna walk in there going, "Okay, I'm bleeding out. You're
Would y'all
bleeding
just
out.
fucking kill yourselves by now, please?
I'm gonna break this pool cue and we're gonna have tryouts. All right."
Okay, I'm gonna have one
Yeah,
last.
if
Yeah,
you have to
right?
do appendages, I'm gonna be really pissed off.
Whoever wins, I'm gonna take care of. Okay?
We're gonna be wrapping up soon because I know it's getting late for a lot of people, and I got to be up in the morning for Midnight Edge in the
I
morning.
have
But
to go to work soon.
and you got to go to work soon too.
Yeah, I gotta
Um,
be at work at
I
7
gotta
o'clock.
take a
But
power
I got
nap.
one quick question about the movie because oh shit, now I just lost what it was because it was something they brought up in the first movie and I forgot what it was. Shit. Talk amongst yourself for another minute till I think of what it was. I just had a brain fart.
Anthony Michael Hall is
Yeah.
fucking great in this movie.
We've said that
You know,
12
we were
times
talking
now.
about-
Yeah.
we were talking about
That's fine.
swans. And
Wait,
shit.
is Michael C. Hall Anthony Michael's Hall brother?
No.
No.
Okay, no relation.
No.
No.
I just
other-
appreciate the non-strong women. You know, they really let the women take kind of the back seat in this one.
Yeah,
Let the men kind of take over the movie, and I
And
really
they all
enjoyed that.
died.
It was for a change, you know, a change of pace because I got so used to seeing the strong female lead type thing. And like I said, when she took that syringe full to the ass, I thought for sure that she was going to be miraculously recovered and ready to, fight Dukes up all over again,
I did
right
like
after
that
having
part.
major surgery.
Well,
So when they played that
Seeing
right,
I like that part.
it's a good movie.
I liked it. I liked it as well. But Snowed Up, you have to understand. There's a difference between what a movie is and what we want to see. What we want to see is we want to see like another, like what Jamie Lee Curtis was saying. Literally, like this is the woke Halloween. It does make us think back to Rise of Skywalker to The Last Jedi and all these other movies, and they didn't make that mistake here, which is great. But you have to understand, you can't read into these movies like this anymore. I think it's unhealthy as from an audience perspective, in our perspective as critics, professionally or amateurically, whatever you want to categorize it as. We can't make that mistake anymore, because we do have to move on from this quote unquote woke era and understand that these are real people who do want to tell a good story. And I think for the most part, again, because this movie for me, it killed me with the ending. I was pissed off because of how terribly it was edited and how it's just a plethora of issues that I've discussed earlier. But it's just, we can't just think so narrowly. We have to think about movies as just, again, as we used to, just movies. These are for fun. Movies are entertainment. And as soon as we get our heads out of our asses for that, from that perspective, then we can finally move forward. And I think this is a turning point of moving forward. Even though I thought the last 5 minutes sucked, it was still a great movie, a great slasher film.
Like I said earlier, this is a love letter to Halloween. This is
the last one was, and this one is a good continuation.
Yeah, I got a lot of vibes like I did with Cobra Kai. Sorry, Snow. Go ahead.
Well, these are people that obviously love the franchise, love the movie, love John Carpenter. They obviously were infatuated with the original movie, and they brought him in as a creative consultant, and I think that was kind of the cherry on top. So all these scenes that you're seeing in these movies, like the kills and stuff like that, John Carpenter himself is sitting in the chair in the background going, "Yeah, guys," putting his thumbs up. That's a good one there. You know what I mean? So for me, that gives me a little more faith in knowing that this will probably be an all right trilogy. This is one that I think we'll go back and watch again.
Yeah, I hope the next one's not woke. And I know Justin and Steven didn't like it as much, and Mike thought it was boring, and Chef was kind of middle of the road as well.
Well, I gotta admit, I did learn how to smuggle in a knife in a hospital.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
I remembered the question I was going to ask everybody, because this is something that goes back to the original film. Now, the doctor was obsessed with him saying something. So were the people in the that were doing the podcast. So do you think that's something else that's going to lead up to what is he going to speak finally in the third film? Do you guys think?
Oh God, I hope not.
I hope not.
Wait. Michael Myers? Do you think he's going to speak? That would be so terrible. That's like what they did in the Final Friday when Jason was like, and we heard him before. But
here's the thing, and this is the reason I said this, because it stuck out to me more so this viewing. Right away, the doctor says he can talk, he just chooses not to. And then, like I said, the podcast people keep trying to get him to say something, and that's the doctor's whole obsession is he wants to hear him speak. He even almost lets what's her face go, because she's like, I know what he said. He said something to me or whatever, and he was so fucking gullible enough to even believe her, right? Like, so like they make this big deal out of it in the first movie about him talking. So I'm curious if you guys think that's going to be something like he'll have one word to say or something to say or anything to say, or
can I refer to the young Michael Myers from 2007? Fuck you. Fuck me. I said fuck you.
Nah, I doubt that'll be it.
No, I know.
Maybe Laurie Strode right before he kills
Maybe
her.
He'll whisper in Laurie's ear right as they kill each other.
It's
probably.
What if we finally get to. Well, it will be unsatisfactory because the sibling
roll.
thing in Halloween 2. But in Halloween 2, the original one, we did not get to see Laurie's reaction to hearing that she's related to Michael Myers, that it's her older brother. So
They're
what
not
if
going
we
to tie
get-
that together again.
But what
Fuck
if we
no,
get
dude.
to-
Halloween 2 does not exist in this era,
I know
brand.
it doesn't.
So they
I
would
know
not
it
even
doesn't.
refer to that. They wouldn't even touch that.
No,
But-
I don't
but-
think they will, because that's one of John Carpenter's bigger points of
Yeah,
contention.
they would
even though
not
he's
touch
the
that.
man
Hell
behind it.
no.
He still says that's the dumbest thing he ever did. He said he was stuck. He didn't have a reason for Michael to go after Laurie in the fucking hospital. And
Well, also
because
the
Carpenter
music
never wanted to
fucking
do another
sucked
Michael
in
Myers
that
movie.
movie.
Yeah.
With the synthesizer crap, just go with the traditional piano.
I don't
speaking of
mind
music.
I
Yeah, the
don't mind
last
the
movie was
score.
so much better.
Anyway.
But anyways, I'll shut the fuck up for a little bit.
I think I was going to joke. I was going to say I think he'll say trick or treat or something like that. But anyway.
Yeah, the studio
right.
forced the
Yeah.
sequel.
Happy
almost
Halloween! Oh my god, that'd be so. That would be so bad. That would be so.
It'd be
bad.
funny if you just said, "No
Yeah.
one ever gave me any candy."
Yeah.
Trick or
or just
treat.
like, I just wanted to look at the pictures. Look at you and he's, I don't know. It's something.
No, I got it. He'll be like, I like pumpkins.
That's
I
all
like
just
turtles.
said, I like
I like
pumpkins.
turtles.
I just wanted somebody to say I was pretty.
Oh, shit.
No.
Uh,
Nope. He's going to look at Laurie and go, "Let's go, Brandon."
Let's go, Brandon.
Roll the
got
credits.
that.
And then the
Oh my
credits will
God,
roll, and I'll be like, "That was
why?
beautiful.
Why?
End it.
Greatest ending ever. Yeah.
Fucking
Honestly,
best ending ever."
I think Depressed Jets fans right. If he does say anything, it'll probably be this: "Evil will never die." And then
That'd
he'll
be so lame.
Or he'll say
Martha.
Martha.
Part 4.
Yeah, Martha, fuck that.
Martha.
So any final thoughts before we head out of here, guys?
Work is gonna suck today.
I
For
hear
real.
you.
I need to get coffee tomorrow. Yep. It's going to be a coffee
I
day.
appreciate you guys
Couple
hanging in
hours.
there, considering you got to work in the morning.
That was fun as hell,
Yeah.
man.
Good movie.
Thank you for inviting me on even though you didn't have to.
I didn't really even know if you were gonna. I didn't know you were gonna be even involved until you popped in the chat. So
I was furious at the ending. But I've calmed down.
That's nice.
Yeah, so have I. I just wanted to put it out there real quick. First off, you guys in the chat, you have just been killing it
Yeah.
with theories and opinions on the movie or on the series in general. So yeah, chat, give yourselves a good
yeah,
round of applause.
I'm
You
gonna
certainly deserve it. And,
double check and make sure I didn't miss any super chats. I don't think I did, but I'm gonna double check.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
sir. You were gonna say something else.
What I was going to say is, I know I was a little hyperbolic at the beginning, and I'm still thumbs down on the movie in the end. But
Make that
having this all here, and now that I've kind of had a few hours here separation, there were things about the movie that I liked. I did like pretty much any scene that had Jamie Lee Curtis and Will Patton together was great. I loved the Loomis scenes. I thought they were just going to shoot around the fact, but the fact that they actually have scenes with Loomis, that was really good. How that was. The special effects in this were very well done. The practical effects, the
Yeah.
CGI, what little CGI there was, I thought were pretty well done.
We do have a
the
couple
gore,
of
the gore
subjects.
scenes are good.
I did miss a couple. I'm sorry about this. Mega Jetty
no, go
1
ahead.
sent one in and said, haven't seen Kills. I already know H4 is the best. I disagree with you, Mega Jetty, but I know you love Halloween 4. I don't know if you're still here, but I know you love that movie.
Well, if it was because of Danielle Harris, and in terms of child actors,
Did you see Danielle Harris at Horror Hound?
Oh, did I see her?
Okay. I was wondering.
And then DeWall says
my
this.
goodness.
I think we got this, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to read this. I'm upset with an expert serial killer stunt driver is not allowed to kill people with a vehicle. This is the age of truck and peace. Come on.
Oh, no, we joked about that.
Yeah.
He's a great
I think I
driver.
missed that one. I'm sorry about that, DeWall, but thank you so much for the donation.
Yeah.
I just must have missed them as we were talking here because I didn't really go away from the stream that much at all. So I'm very surprised I missed any. But you guys must have been talking a lot, and it just kind of went past my screen without me seeing it. Sorry about
Mega
that.
Jetty is still here, by the way.
Awesome,
And
cool.
all I
Oh,
can
right on.
say to Mega Jetty is no whispering. He'll get that.
I really liked this movie. It was a great movie, but Halloween 4 is still better.
That's how
Echoing
he
Whisper
talks.
Lady.
That's how he talks late night.
You guys forget I am like I do like impressions, right? You guys do not want me to do impressions of you guys.
Wait, hold on.
Do an impression of me.
Do an impression of
go
me.
Ahead. Go ahead. Do everyone on the panel. Come on, Tom.
I'm Justin. No, I don't want to do that. I don't know some of these guys well enough, so no.
No, that was terrible. No. Start with Jesse.
I just did.
As I'm
You know,
Justin,
this is
that's
bullshit.
a
Let's go get
terrible
some fucking
Jesse
pussy and some pot.
Oh man.
That's about
I
it.
fucking
That's-
hate commies.
yeah,
Fucking
that's-
commies.
Yeah, that's about spot on right there. Yeah. Just say that's
All
spot
right,
on right
all
there.
All right.
I want to thank everybody for joining me here tonight. Snowed up at the last minute, and Mike at the last minute as well, kind of. And Steven I knew was going to be here. Jesse knew he was going to be here, and Chef knew he was going to be here, and then Justin after the start. So thank you for being here as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and thank you guys in the chat. We're glad you guys listened to us talk about this movie for almost 3 fucking hours. I did not expect to like it this much, so I am surprised by it. It sounds like we had pretty mixed throughout the panel and the chat, so that's not a bad thing necessarily. That just means that there's going to be some discussion about it. So,
Oh yeah, I gotta watch it again.
It could be a very divisive movie, I think.
Yeah,
Could be.
as a sequel should be, well, not divisive necessarily, but something that's worth.
Okay, Ryan
discussion.
Johnson.
it could be Mike, but I think at the same time you got to remember that the horror audience is much different than other audiences.
They're much more forgiving. Yeah.
Exactly. Like I think that that's the thing is I knew I didn't like the last movie, but I know most people ate that the fuck up. Because the only reason that movie made as much money as it did is word of mouth. There's no fucking other reason.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of the regulars at our theater seem to really enjoy it tonight. So, yeah.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad. I'm glad that a lot of people liked it. I'm glad there was a good body count. The slasher genre has had a big renaissance since the 2018 Halloween movie, and was different than, beforehand. The last time that we saw this was like the late 2000s, which started in the early 2000s with all the reboots and kind of hit
Those
its
don't
peak and then-
exist.
I was
No,
gonna
no.
say to me, horror ended with Freddy
Yeah.
versus Jason.
Rob Zombie's fucking Halloweens do not
No,
exist. in the Halloween
no. I'm
franchise
talking
for me.
about I'm
talking
talking
in general.
about like Friday the 13th in 2009.
That
which
does
it-
not exist in the Friday the
it
13th
exists
franchise.
in this dojo, motherfucker. It is
Your
what,
dojo, not mine.
Guess what,
Uh,
Justin? Jason don't take fucking prisoners. End of discussion.
And he doesn't dig fucking tunnels. When
Exactly.
the fuck does
that
he have
too.
time to dig fucking tunnels and build fucking cages? Who built the cages, Joe?
He's not Leatherface.
Yeah, yeah.
Jason's
Riddle me
a
this. Yeah,
complicated
riddle,
mama's boy.
yeah.
He's a-
Riddle me that.
That's fine. You can make him a complicated mama's boy, but he's not a fucking architect. And
Yeah,
nor
who
does he
built-
take prisoners.
Who
You
built
can
the
trick him for
gate,
like 5
Joe?
seconds. That's about it.
Yeah,
like what's her face in part 2 tricks him
got
for
his
like,
own little alarm service, little bell service in case somebody's ringing
Oh,
it.
man.
Who does
See,
that?
I kept track with Kane Hodder, and I kind of jumped over with him to the Hatchet series.
There
And I
you go.
really enjoyed those movies.
Oh, yeah.
instead.
I've heard
yeah.
good things
Those are
about
good.
both
I
those.
didn't care for the last one, though. It was a little too low budget.
I don't like those Hatchet movies as movies. I just like watching Kane Hodder wreck people.
Well, and that's the kind of thing with the horror audience, right? Like, I guess that kind of, and that's why I made that whole kind of thing in the beginning where I was like, look, I learned, like, I had this epiphany during this movie is like, I can't treat this movie like the original. I can't treat this movie like other real films. It's the same thing as like superhero movies now. I get more every time we see one of these movies, what Scorsese was getting at, But what we haven't been getting is the good popcorn movies. This is a good popcorn movie. Godzilla vs. Kong was a good popcorn movie. We've got a few good popcorn movies this year, whether you like this one or a few of the other ones. Seems like we've at least got a couple movies that most people seem to have liked. Even some people liked Fast 9 for how fucked up it was. And there's some people,
yeah,
there's
it's
been
just
a
like
couple
let's
good
have
horror
cars
films
in
this year.
space.
yeah, a couple good
That's
horror
fun.
movies this year. There's
Yeah.
been, we
Is
had
that a
Free Guy
don't
and
know.
Yeah,
I
we
don't know.
had the Fear Street movies, which are great slashers.
Those were
and-
decent. Those were decent.
There's
Yeah.
there's a low budget horror movie called Like Dogs that's out on VOD now that I thought was excellent.
I love that movie. Thank you for bringing that.
yeah.
Yeah, another.
Oh yeah.
All right,
Another
boys,
lower
I gotta
budget one.
pop out of here because
Love you, Jesse. Thanks for being here. Dude, be careful today. Get yourself some energy drink.
Yay, another 12 hours.
Oh,
Take care and be well, my
you should
friend.
have took a nap earlier, dude.
Yeah,
Run,
and
bitch,
I
run.
and I actually have to take a power nap before I have to get up and go.
All right, Chef. Well, thanks for being here, guys. We're going to check
take
out
care,
anyway.
Chef.
So.
Thank you
Great
guys.
Take care,
time,
guys.
everybody.
Yeah, and I enjoyed Venom 2 as well. There's some people who didn't, but like that's what I'm saying is like there's a good diverse bunch of movies out there, even those who like No Time to Die and those who didn't. So it's a lot better than some of the other crap we've been talking about and dealing with lately. So hopefully we'll get some more of this.
That's another movie that was, as I was saying earlier, we have to stop thinking about these in our, own political climate and just enjoy movies as they are. Movies.
Yeah, so check out Proper Justin's channel or Justin Proper, whatever he's going by these days. Check out
Hashtag
Jesse.
Team Jason.
Check out Jesse at the Crow's Nest. Check out Chef Nation's channel. Check out Snowdub. Check out Mike's channel. You got a channel now too, don't you, Mike? Or you got the trailer channel anyway.
Yeah, I don't have my own.
Here, say something in the chat, Mike, and I'll make you a wrench. Same with you, Steven. Oh, there you are. You already are one. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Steven, do you got a channel now? Are you starting one up?
Hopefully before the end of the year. Yes,
All right.
I'm in the early stages.
And so Snowdub and Mike, thanks for being here for the first time too. Appreciate it.
It's fun.
My pleasure. It was a lot of fun. I'm always down to talk some horror, so
Sweet. Well, I'm sure there'll be more to talk about at some point.
We'll have to go over Chucky next.
Yeah,
I like this first one. So we'll see
I
where it
didn't
goes.
hate it. I didn't hate it either. I'm not sure what to think.
That was all right,
but
yeah, I got to see a few more episodes before
Exactly.
I form a real
Where,
opinion
where
of it.
can I watch that?
the first episode is actually free on YouTube right now, but otherwise it's on USA and Sci-Fi. Has it popped up on Hulu or anywhere else? Does anybody know where?
I think it'll be on Peacock too.
I haven't seen it there yet. I'll take a look.
Fuck Peacock.
I would think it'd be on there since it's a
Eventually,
Universal
I would think so
thing.
too. What? You should have a wrench, Justin. What the fuck?
Yeah, you removed mine, you
I
bastard.
did not. That unless you're being a dickhole in it and I was fucking with you, maybe.
Oh,
Otherwise, I don't see why I would have.
Don't feel bad for him, Tom. He took my wrench away off of his channel, so.
wait, no,
Yeah,
that's not
yes, you
true.
did. Oh, yes, you did, Robert. Yes, you did.
What do you mean?
We'll save this drama for another show, though.
Wait, this is not okay.
I was
Let's
gonna say,
reinstate
probably
you
said or did
immediately.
something or like took my wrench away on your channel or something, and I did it just to piss you off or something. Who knows?
Oh, probably. All right, fine, you assholes.
With
are
you,
gonna
that's
get
probably the
reinstated.
case.
I'm just
Because I don't ever remember being pissed off at you for any real reason, Justin. So I don't piss off real easy. Like it takes a lot to piss me off. So
Yeah, that's true.
Jesse was here; he could tell you that much. Because yeah. So all right, kids. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Oh, it's gonna be an early one.
Live
Kentucky.
long, Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah.
Jesus.